Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
Gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Opening night in NFL is here. Our Cappers contest pops off in 9 hours and 18 minutes. Let's go over to the Cappers contest right now. We have so many of our pub guys in, and we need more of everybody in. We're definitely going to, I'm confident that we'll have over 100. So we'll have over 10,000 in the prize pool. But man, I want 20,000 in the prize pool. We also have our first Cappers contest show, which is so much fun. Cappers contest show. And that's members only. This is our first members only show. Members only. Jeff Slaughter has bought our entry into the Circa Million, so we'll be voting for our card, and I'm very excited to do it with the members. And we have 61 entries. I know we're going to go higher. I know we're going to get to 100. We have 61 entries. I know, and remember, I'm telling everybody, well, I'm sort of phrasing it like the contest starts tonight, but you have until Saturday. Now, we want everybody in now. But the picks lock Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. They lock. And due to Jose's donkey fingers, I'm trying to wipe the smile off my face. I'm doing an okay job of it. But due to Jose's donkey fingers, we have a submit button this year with Jose's mustachio on it. But let's take a look at who's in it right now. 61 entries. See Nut Flush ready to go. Ronnie and Bergia, Occupancy, DeMartini back in action, Detroit, Lenny, Sammy Culmer, Earl Sports Bets. There's Joseph Thompson, Joe Thompson, who won our third, our final poker tournament. Tim Earl right there. Oh, there's Professor Chris, Sweaty Butcher. Dex Pope, he won our first poker tournament. There's the Dapper Capper, Morgan Spooner. Oh, we got Tim Crowley. Rushia, who I still need to get in touch with to send him my for the bounty. There's Troy Torrance ready to go. Spenny Penny Bombs, Preston Ekdahl. Look at all these. Johnny Guns, Dave Rogers. Oh, we have Slam DeClosteball, and that is Paco Healy. That's the San Diego team, right? Damon Santori and Paco.
They're changing
Healy.
their name, actually, too. They put a petition in to change their name. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to operate as this year. So shout out to them. And by the way, Jim, the lines come out 10 a.m. Pacific.
Okay,
so
that's
we'll be getting them noon our time. So I'm assuming
noon
the
your
lines
time, 1 my time. But yeah, that's all good.
Yes. So we will probably get all the lines up before the Cappers contest show for the official selections as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll have them up. I believe we'll have them up. Jedi for Life, the New Worker, Brooklyn Funk Project, Mr. Vape, my mom, TJ, star of the Gift play today. I'm there. There's Bobano, Dennis Garcia, Fanatical Jim. There's Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. Drug Monkey RX, he was top 5 last year. Breadman, he's the son of Drinking Hand. Father, son, capping him. Drinking Hand's also in it. There's Ron Crawford, Elio, Mr. Gogster, Saturated, Joe Yurgovich, Billy Friedrich, Big Show, Dan Kelly, Pistol Pete Loshak, Jeff Slaughter. And I know more is coming in. Dutch is going to be in here in a second. We're going to have Sharpie in here. We got more and more. We need more. Can you, Jose, my man, can you put the thumbnail up here? We need you guys to jump in here. I want 200. I know we'll get to 100. 39 more, no problem. But get in here. All money goes back into the prize pool. And we get to compete against each other. And then we get the Cappers contest show where we'll talk all about it. That's at 2 p.m. today. That will be just before Balking Dead. The Balking Dead. Oh, man, I'm pumped up. So that's the most important. most important here is the Cappers contest and the Survivor contest. Then, of course, there's our new Cappers contest show that's members only, where we'll be voting for our circuit card. Then we have Mikey M as our host of our Thursday night football live stream this evening. And Mikey M will be the host of all Thursday night live streams this year. I will be on Sunday and Monday. What else is extremely important? Jose's climb from the gutters. He's left me there. He's left me alone in the ditch. He took my bottle of Kraken. I'm shivering in the ditch with no booze to warm me up. He's left me. He is now down 1.35 units. What a comeback. Doing it all publicly. It's, gotta watch my language, but it's embarrassing when you're losing, man. And not only is it embarrassing, but your bankroll gets destroyed. Your family doesn't talk to you. Even Ella's like, why are you still betting baseball? I'm like, oh, the Orioles. Ella, the Orioles are still taking care of me a little bit. Carter just shakes his head at me. It's ugly. So I'm very impressed that Jose's been able to climb. Now, he's not finished yet. A lot of people can climb all the way out of the gutter and then slip and splash back in the gutter beside me in the ditch. And I hope he just brings the Kraken back if he does fall apart. So that is, and then of course we must talk about the Baltimore Orioles. We must talk about the Orioles. Where would I be without the Orioles? I mean, would I still have a family? I mean, they'd still exist, but would they be living with me? I don't know. We're not all the way through the division yet. Plus 525. We've got to get to the division. And in NFL, I still have only made 2 bets. I only added 1 bet last night. Now I'm going to add more. But it's, you're staring at these games for so long, and you guys know what it's like. So right now, as it stands right this very second, I have 5 bets in football, in NFL and NCAA football. And they're all between +6 and +7.5. 3 in college football, 3 in NFL. And I like that. I want to tell you that I guarantee a positive ROI on those 5 bets. But you can't do that. But I'm extremely confident in my 5 bets right now. And that's that. All right. It is great to see all of you guys. Let's give some shouts out and let's get to work. Jose has pinned the entry into our Cappers contest. 61 right now. Johnny Gilpatrick, G Funk, Visa Joe, Coach Sim, Big Tuna. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you guys all who have signed up for it. It means a ton to us, and it means we get to compete all year, and that's extremely enjoyable. As competition is extremely important in life, and some of us want to compete more than others. And I want to compete badly. Truth Teller in the house says, today is my only holiday, NFL, baby. He says when he was 10, his dad told him NFL was fake like WWE. Spent the next 30 years trying to figure out if he's right. Look at that, Truth Teller. Man, that's a mean thing your dad did, man. That would get in my head. My dad said that to me. Now, my dad did other things to get in my head, but not that. That's funny. Raymond Reichart says, wanted to hop in early to post these for you. Didn't want to spam the chat later on. Let's copy and paste this stuff. We will talk about it in NFL, and we will be breaking down NFL after the MLB card. So we're going MLB, NFL, and then NCAA football. NCAA football, we're going to break down my 3 best bets at this point. It's easy to say they're my best bets because they're my only bets. But we are also going to break down the UTSA Roadrunners game with Jose a little deeper. And Jose is going to be at that game in a tux, I believe, because he's going to a wedding right after. Is it a tux?
Yeah. I don't know if it's tux. I don't know what's considered a tux between a suitor and a tux. I don't know. We're going in wedding attire. Yeah.
Might want to cut the ass out of those pants for gags if you're going to be at a college football. Think about it. Don't just make a decision right now.
That did just pique my interest. You'd have to probably pitch it to
your friend who's getting married, but you might want to cut the ass out of the pants because if you're
Well, I
wearing
just brought 2 pants.
yeah, well, just for the game, yeah. If you're wearing a tux and you've cut the ass out of your pants, that's. I remember, years and years ago, back, it wasn't that long ago when the Elks were the Eskimos, but there was a playoff game between the Eskimos and the Lions. And, we got there at 9, 10 a.m., just started, drinking heavily, eating chili and drinking heavily. We got to the game and I was just liquored up. And I was walking with a friend and there was a guy in Eskimo garb. And I span around and I slapped him in the ass. And then he turned at me and he threw his whole beer at me. But I ducked and it hit 4 or 5 Lions fans who were nonplussed. A skirmish ensued and they kicked out the Eskimo fan. Now, I felt bad that I had started all this, but I remember it all happened. And then I looked up. There was this guy who didn't like me in high school sitting there. And he's staring at me. He was just going like that. And I'll never forget the look he had on his face. The guy just despised me. And he watched the whole thing. So you might get your ass slapped if you cut the ass out of your pants. That's the one drawback.
I do have a slappable ass. So
I don't want to hear anything about that at all. I don't want to hear anything about that. But I want you to stick around here because we have a huge show today. And have you woken up one morning in this MLB season in the black?
None. Not one. Not one at all. So
this is really big. And how much? Yeah. How far? What are you down right now?
1.35 units. This is the closest I've been. I've been like 2. I've been like 3. But what happens is every single time I'll have that big night. Sweep the board. We're feeling great about myself. And then I think I've got the biggest dick in the world. And I try to let my balls dangle. And I overbet the next day. And I fucking lose that day horrifically. Thankfully, the baseball gods, we only have 6 games. So I can't. That's going to help a lot.
And on behalf of the low baggers, we thank you for sweeping the board when you did not give out any of those picks on our show.
Well, again, I apologize. The Texas Wi-Fi sometimes fucks you up, It fucks you up. But everyone knows that I hate the Rangers, apparently. And everyone knew I was going to be on the Astros. It's just how I was going to be on the Astros. The -1 was my piece de resistance. Max Scherzer is such a loser, and that was great.
That was a thing of beauty. Well, stick around as we give a shout out to all the cappers in the chat and we get ready to work. I'm going to be copying and pasting some action. We have Viper MB on the Dodgers -1. For me yesterday, it was horrific. 2-4 down 2.37 units. Unfortunately, my record will be up on the screen here. Look, I was the Colorado Arizona first 5 under 5, one of the worst bets I've ever made in my life. The Philly Arizona first 5 under 4. I can't tell you how many first 5s I've lost where the full game is cashed. It's just one of those years. The Dodgers Miami over 8.5 was beautiful. The whole cap on Detroit New York Yankees was that I thought Matt Manning was vulnerable. Now he got hit by the line drive, so we don't really know. But I should have just taken the first 5 over if that's what I felt. I thought I was going to cash that over 9. And then New York Mets Washington was just atrocious. So 2-4 down 2.37 units and awful. Perky Sanderson ready to get to work. There is Londo, the big booty Latina play of the day over 53.5 in KC Detroit. I think that number will continue to rise, and I am not afraid to try to get underneath it. But we might have to wait. We might have to wait until 10 minutes before the game. The public is going to want the over. We'll go over all of that. Londo says he's seeing a lot of people liking the under. Yeah, there's a lot of sharp action on the under, but the public is going to come in today and hammer the over. Londo says with these 2 offenses, he's being a very high-scoring game. He says this is an easy over. Ricky Levine says trying to get in Survivor last. Okay, well, if anybody's having any problem signing up, you can either go to Jose or I, but the best way of doing it is to email pubsportsradio@gmail.com, and our guy Sean will take care of everything. He is the backbone of our website and all of I don't know what do you call it? The information superhighway? I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, the internet.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Raymond Reichard says, all my data I feel is telling me to take the Lions. Just hard for me to get there knowing I missed the 6 and 6.5. Yeah, I agree. I don't think I'd get there right now. You may get a live opportunity. I think at this point, if you like the line. Now, Troy Torrance, and I'm going to tweet this out right after the show. I just want to wait because I was like overloading tweets this morning. He's now moved on the Lions money line.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I'm betting the Lions at this point, you have to bet at money line.
I don't know. I think you wait live, but maybe you don't get that opportunity. Perky says, I'm not buying the Lions hype regardless of Kelsey either. These boys are built different, and thank you for the over advice. I'm taking that now. So Perky's going to roll with Londo on that over.
Yeah, I kind of like the under TBH.
I do too. Londo says the over 53 is a no-brainer play for him. I hope a lot of people think that way. And, if we can get back up to 54, it's 54 and a half. And Londo, you are running hot. You're running hot and you're a great capper. But that's part of the fun, right? There's no negative towards you. There's going to be lots of times when we're going to be on different sides and there should be, it's all in fun. Gerald Jones says he's going to be joining the Cappers contest tonight. Billy Friedrich, same game parlay, Chiefs money line and under 54. That's at plus 168. Billy Friedrich is in the contest too. He is B. Lee.
I have to remember that because that asshole was just all over me last year. And I was like, who the fuck is B. Lee?
JW says Orioles a gift that keeps giving. Billy Friedrich says primetime games are notorious unders. They are. Perky Sanderson been trying to figure out what the Capper contest is. Wow. I feel like we've talked a lot about it. Haven't we talked a lot about it? I feel like he's been in the chat often. We've talked a lot about it.
Man, I love you, Perky. Perky, let's just go over it one more time. I got you, Perky. 5 picks against the spread, NFL. So people have asked this as well. No player props, no totals, just spreads. 5 picks against the spreads. Those lines officially come out around 10 a.m. Pacific, whatever that is, Eastern, whatever that is, Central. So just keep that in mind. When the circle lines come out, give it about 30 minutes-ish. Our lines will be up, officially ready to go, as well as the Survivor will also, the picks will probably be then as well. So keep that in mind. After that, remember to make 5 picks. I'll emphasize that again. Remember to make all 5 picks against the spread. I already have my picks circled, which will be very fun. But make all those 5 picks. Click on my stupid face. Submit. You'll be good to go. And we'll be doing that all year. We can talk about winnings and distribution of winnings later. But the point is 5 picks against the spread, $100 to enter at pubsportradio.com.
Yeah, we just have to see how many contestants are in. One thing about Slaughter, and if you've hung out with him and watched him bet, he makes big boy bets, and he wants at least he wants 50% for the winner. Like he wants a lot. He wants a huge number for the winner. We always try to talk him down. But we'll have to wait to see how many entries before we do it. But do know that the winner in this one will get a little more percentage wise than in other contests because Slaughter likes big scores. Big fucking scores. So we're gonna support, of course, our leader who bought us into the Circa contest. Harold Williams on the Lions as well. Detroit Lenny Von Polo. Detroit Lenny says Lions outright. Wine Time Sports. Billy Friedrich. There's Nordy in the house. Brian Smith. Marlins team total over 3.5 going back to the well. Let's get that up here. Here we go. Let's get up that for us for the first game on board. We have Viper on the Dodgers. He's ready to cap. He's also on Amon-Ra St. Brown over 74.5 receiving yards. Jay Smooth, NJ Striker, saturated. We can pat ourselves on the back for winning with the Orioles every day. Why the hell am I not winning with the Cubs every day?
I've been saying that for the last 3 or 4 days now. It's been hilarious. Just been I see saturated. Troy bets them every fucking day. BJ said yesterday he's betting them every day. Yeah, it's one of those things where today was the first day where I'm like, should I just start betting the Cubs every day too?
I think we should.
We'll talk.
I think we should, and we should fade the Angels. Did they finally drop a line for us in that one?
Yeah, I have not seen one because I
Oh, it's up,
obviously haven't
and
seen
it's
the
what?
starter.
It's a pick'em.
Uh-oh.
Good God. Okay, we got to talk it out before I just bet it immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I still doesn't say who the pitcher is for me,
No, but
but
that's fine. Who cares? I mean, it can't be Griffin Canning if they're waiting this long. I got to bet that. I got to bet that during the show, but only 6 games. I should be able to get that in within 38 minutes. Mr. Vape, ready to go. Ronnie and Bergia. Troy Torrance says, what is the deadline for picks to be in? It's extremely important. It is Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So important. So important. 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. It locks.
Saturday.
And we need, because we want to be able to see everybody's picks. That's part of the fun as well. So that's so important. Jeffrey Moore, the Dapper Capper, Andrew G, strategic investments. How do we buy the membership? Can you explain that? There's a money sign there.
By the way, strategic investment is already a member to begin with. So,
yeah, you're a member.
So let's start there. But thank you for asking. Just hit the dollar signs beside our names on the thing. But we appreciate your strategic investment, my man.
I love
That's how you get in and you vote.
He's my guy.
And shout out to NJ Stryker, who just became a member. He wants to vote on the Cappers contest later in the show. Yes, that fan. It is specifically NFL, the Cappers contest. Only NFL.
Nuke Worker in the house. Nuke Worker is coming to Pubapalooza 3. Messaged me about it yesterday. It's pretty funny because I was like, well, Gokster is going to be crashing at my house, so if we all get on the same plane together, but men don't want sleepovers, so I don't.
Why not, guys? I had a 15 guy sleepover this last weekend. It was a great time.
I don't think Nuke wants to drink Kraken and play NBA Jam until 4 a.m, but that makes sense, I guess. I think he's got a hotel that he always stays at, but it's available for you. Morgan Spooner, Rays money line, Cubs -1, Braves first 3 -0.5. Let's copy and paste that right now. We got to get to work, and I'm gone slowly here. I apologize. Let me just copy and paste that, and let's do a quick run through. Arnillo ready to get to work. Oh, a new nickname for you, Beer Tits. Beer Tits. There's Guillermo Zertucci. He's going to be in the contest. I didn't see his name unless he's using an alias, but he's going to be in the contest as well.
Make another appearance.
There is our guy, TJ. He's in the contest. Steve G, Fly, White Mike. There's Clint Aquinimus, Philly Eagle, Flyer. BJ's best bet is in. He's on the Cubs, -1.5.
Oh, damn.
I just, and one of the problems is being late to the party, but maybe it just doesn't matter this time of year. Maybe these teams are rolling. They're just going to keep rolling. JW, Real Deal, Mally Mal, Tone Miggins, Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet play of the day is in Dodgers -118. I'll copy and paste that here. Dodgers -118. Spreadsheet play today. Thank you so much for sharing that with us each and every day, Ron. I am behind on that record. I'll have that up for us tomorrow. All right, it's time to get to work. And KBO NC Dinos, Ron Crawford is a beast. Pimp Sheet, Baltimore, great work. And there is our guy. T just said, I personally dropped 75% of my MLB bankroll in May. Worst month of my career. Back up 43% on the season now, though. Great job. There's Nasty Nate in the house. We got to get Nate. We need Nate in the Cappers contest. Please come in. Levels play today is in. Chiefs team total over 28.5. And Sky Moore. Anytime touchdown. Let's copy and paste that. You need to know what the levels play today is, man. That guy is the absolute monster. Justin McElvey ready to get to work. Reclaim James in the house. There's Ednier Jr. Thank you for joining us. Billy Friedrich with his season win totals. I'm going to have those in here shortly.
By the way, shout out to Reclaim James again for the warm welcome in Knox. I never showed the picture of us together, but shout out to my guy, Reclaim James. Good guy.
So no, I love seeing you guys hanging together, man. I love seeing low baggers hanging together. It means so much to me. TJ says, I need to know if it's frowned upon to have multiple entries in Survivor. It is frowned upon, very much frowned upon. Fat Wally. There is Brian Watson. Troy Torrance says, I don't want to think of who or where he'd be without competition. I love it. Well, we're all like that. That's why when we all get together in San Antonio, it's magic because we're extremely similar. All of us. Nut Flush Allen. Ready to get to work. JW says that Jose has slappable tits. There's Marcus Anderson. Saturated says an Eskimo with assless chaps. They wild in Canada. Razor sharp picks in the house. Okay, great to see all you guys. There's Dabra Cadabra, cash raise, first 5 yesterday, now up 17.91 units on the season. All right, it's great to see all you guys. Rodney M, ready to get to work. I hope I gave all of you guys a shout out because you all deserve it. Leonard Boyce Jr., Robert Franklin. Let's get to work, everybody. There's Nate Dogg 420. And live scratching in the house. Okay, it's been all in. It's been all in 24/7. Welcome to Weeby Pub and welcome to our membership. And hopefully you can join us for our all members only show today. Okay, I'm going to see if there's anything else I need to copy and paste. Let me know. There's Dav Fen. Nick Schweska says Chiefs haven't scored less than 33 in any week one game featuring Patrick Mahomes. Yes, but those games may have featured Chris Jones helping to get the offense on the field and Travis Kelce helping to keep them on the field. Mr.
Damn,
Heat,
this is 26-minute intro. Holy shit.
Mr. Heat in the house. Justin McElvey with a Stacks future. Let's get that. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're calling
it. It's go wave it off.
We are done. Okay.
Nancy
Nate says he paid but can't get in. We can fix all that. We can fix all that. Billy Friedrich giving 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. Thank you so much, Billy Friedrich. You're such a great 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 friend. NJ Stryker now a member as well. Man, you guys, Bankroll Spence in the house, Dav Fen. Okay. And TJ says, be careful fading the Angels today. A word of warning. A word of warning for us all. Oh, the ass eater play of the day is in from Reclaim James. Let's copy and paste that. Were there a lot of ass eating opportunities at the bar that you saw Reclaim James at, Jose?
No, but I'm sure Saturday nights during college football season, I'm sure Reclaim's a shark in there.
I imagine that Reclaim James creates more ass-eating scenarios than you.
Well, I'll take that bet. Okay. I'll take that bet.
Okay, so I'm surprised. You got so much confidence there. I'm surprised. TJ says, I leave for a couple weeks. Now we have the ass eater play today. Good times. And TJ says eating ass is always a good thing. There's a lot more ass eaters. You know, it's because of like-minded individuals. So you get one ass eater, and then all the ass eaters come out, and they're like, oh, finally.
Yeah, finally we can stand up. Raise up, my people. It's 2023. Who doesn't eat ass?
Reclaim James says, show our pick, bitch. I guess he wasn't watching for 3 minutes.
Damn. Reclaim, I just showed it. Oh my gosh. He's just, you know what? I know what he's doing. He's obviously too busy eating ass. I mean, come on. He's too busy eating ass.
Busy eating ass, obviously.
Damn. So, I mean, shout out to Reclaim.
Eating ass. Show my pick, bitch. I like it. I like the way he talks to you. Okay, let's get to work. Oh man, God, that one got me.
He's gonna be at Palooza 3, by the way. So shout out to Reclaim.
That's dope. That's dope. His mouth is brown. Nate Dogg, it's just 5 games. Nate Dogg, 425 games. Oh no, Justin McElvey. Okay, well, let's not get into the pros and cons of ass eating.
I'll tell you, there's more pros than cons. Some say pink eye is a pro. Who knows?
Ryan Bergia says it's an acquired taste. It's like snails.
Thank you. Just pennies.
Oh no, Nasty Nate, we'll get you in. I promise we will get you in. Don't worry. I can tell. I can sense he's upset. Don't worry. We will get you in.
It's kind of like Sharpie, you know. Sharpie has to get in there, yell a little bit, and then, you know, we fix it, and we're all good. So, shout out to Nasty Nate. He'll get there.
Norman Ross says Titans are winning. I would have bet it, but I think we're going to get a 3.5. Okay, let's get to work in MLB. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. We've already heard Viper NB on the Dodgers -1. Brian Smith on the Marlins team total over 3.5. And not only that, but the spreadsheet play of the day is on the Dodgers money line. Snail out the ass is crazy. How do we get there?
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. I'm
Well,
not gonna lie.
I think that we're combining two different ideas into one.
Well, let me tell you, Nuke Worker is not an ass eating guy, so let's just move on from the ass eating. I don't want to discuss Nuke Worker at 10 in the morning or whatever it is.
Don't worry. And if you do, I can't call. I don't want to call a sleepover. Why? Because if you call it a sleepover, nobody's coming.
Yeah, I don't know why you call it a sleepover.
If you want to crash at the house, we won't. There'll be no ass eating conversations. No ass eating conversations.
I don't know, Gokester.
No, Gokester doesn't talk ass eating.
Gokster's a fucking shark here, by the way, as well. Gokester here, he's got the accent, little exotic. Gokester just talking up the storm to the ladies here.
He needed year 2 to get, because year 1 he was calling everybody buddy. He almost got beaten up everywhere he went.
So yes, that is true. He did get better about that.
Okay, let's get to work here in MLB. 6 games on the board. Then we get into NFL. And then I have my 3 best bets at this point in NCAA football. And we'll also talk about UTSA, Texas State, after Texas State's big win at Baylor as 26.5-point dogs. We're going to go into the weather first off. And let's get Ballpark Pal up. I know I have them up, but I'm going to pop them up again. So let's go. Here we go. We don't need to worry about any of this, though. What am I doing? We're in Miami.
Oh, you're doing your thing. Just cook. Cook.
We're in Miami. Ryan Pepio against Braxton Garrett, who has struggled at home this year, and I keep waiting for that to end, and it does not. Let's go into the line history first and foremost. Marlins winning at home against the Dodgers, getting themselves into this wild card race. They open up at plus 109. They're now plus 105. So we have 4 cents of movement. And there was just an 8-cent move towards the Marlins, which created that. So if we had talked about this, an hour ago, at that point, there had been a slight move towards the Dodgers. But right now, we have 4 cents towards the Marlins, 5 cents away from the Dodgers. So a slight move towards the Marlins. Let's go to the total here for this one. From a total perspective, we are sitting here with this 8.5, opening up at minus 112, now minus 110. So we've really had, let's call it what it is, no movement on this. Let's pull up the cash flow for this game. I'm still on college football, so we'll move over to MLB. Cash flow for this one. 81% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the Dodgers. Everybody expecting the Dodgers to bounce back. The market does not. I smell a gambler's first glance. That's what I smell. 68% of the tickets on the over, but just 49% of the cash. TJ says the ass eating the sports betting talk ratio is 100% appropriate, so I trust that. Wine Time says he's been on the Marlins last 2 games, might just play a half unit on them again. Reclaim James just took the Dodgers minus 117. Polo this, Polo that says I'm watching the show with my manager today. I may or may not end up getting fired with all the ass eating conversations. Look, we apologize, and we're back to business. We're back to business. Billy Friedrich looking at Marlins team total under 1.5, first 5 at plus 115. Ryan Pepio, last start, 7-0 win at home versus the Cardinals. He's only thrown 14 innings this year, and he's looked excellent. 14 Ks, 2 walks, 1 homer. I'm not going to bother talking about what his road numbers or home numbers are. 14 innings, sample size is too small. He's a good pitcher. Braxton Garrett, 3.86 ERA, 1.15 whip. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 K, 1 walk, and a 6-1 win at the Nats. But at home, 4.94 ERA. 281 opponent's batting average. And the Dodgers rake lefties, 279, 853 OPS. Marlins versus righties, 249, 746. Those numbers are since August 1st. Dodgers bullpen, 2.59 ERA since August 1st, while the Marlins, 4.14. The Dodgers are not going to try to catch the Braves, who have 90 wins here. They're not going to bother. They don't have a lot to play for other than staying healthy. And are they vulnerable yet again? Jose, the floor is yours.
Yep. I'm on them. I'm on the Marlins. First 5 full game. I haven't tweeted anything out, so we could line shop from whatever. But all I needed to hear was all the money on the Dodgers yet again, and the line moving towards the Marlins yet again. This has happened the last 2 games. We talked about it with the Kershaw start. That line was really fishy. We bet Marlins first 5 full game. Pulled that out of our asses. Shout out to Michael Ervelina, I believe it was, yesterday. I get my days mixed up. Shout out to my guy, Fly White Mike. He got me on Marlins team total 3.5 again yesterday. I was kind of thinking about backing him back and forth. And then Michael, was finally like, all right, get in there. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So we cashed on him yesterday. And I think they go ahead and pull out the brooms and get the sweep here. I really think that, like you said, the teams that are not really playing for anything, Dodgers, Braves, are vulnerable. And I think we can fade them and make money. We faded them yesterday, both teams, and made money quite easily. Marlins cashed in like the 4th inning. Cardinals was a no sweat at all. And I think I'm just going to go right back to the well here. So Marlins first 5 full game splits here for me. And shout out to Bobano. Another thing that's been very beneficial is the Bobano split first 5 full games there. Because sometimes I just don't know which side to take. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'll just take both.
Yeah, and you're running well. Your bankroll is back intact. So it all makes sense. Well, I tell you, we can't give you Pinnacle's line. Dodgers are now minus 112 there.
Yeah, I've watched the Bet Online line just trickle down and down and down throughout the show. Like, it's just been going 1 cent down, 1 cent down, 1 cent down throughout the whole show. By the way, Gambler's First Glance, of course, on the Marlins money line as well. Not a surprise there. I'm on it with you, Razor. So we'll cash this out again, and the Marlins will pull out the brims because they fucking need all these games. This is wild card season for the Marlins. They need all these games, and as you said, the Dodgers just wake me up when October starts.
Wow.
And Billy Friedrich, by the way, great stat. The Dodgers have only been swept once this season. Here come the Marlins about to do it to them. They just don't care. I just don't think they care.
Well, the best number we can give you is at our friends at MyBookie. Sports Interaction minus 103. Marlins here minus 102 at MyBookie.
Money line?
First 5.
Okay.
Money line, we can get you quite a bit better. On the money line, we can get you a plus 106. A plus 106 is the best we can give you here for the full game.
Sweet.
Plus 106.
Yeah.
Well,
I would like the team total as well. 3.5 again at minus 120. Jesse, I should probably add that, but I'll stick with 2.
Well, I would like to join you. I don't know if my comfort level with baseball would allow me to double up, but good God, like when the Gambler's First Glance was the Mets on Thursday or Friday, whatever it was, and I took the first 5 and I lose, and Gambler's First Glance wins, and same thing happened with Joe Ryan and the Twins against the Rangers. Like, I'm just so fed up, and same thing happened with the under in the Phillies game. So maybe I should just be a man and double up there. I would like to join you guys. You have any feel on this total, Jose?
Zero feel at all. Luckily for me, I've stayed away from totals, last few days, and I've been just winning on side. So I can just reiterate what you said earlier. I mean, everyone and their moms, well, not everyone, I'm looking at the wrong game. 69% of the bets, 52% of the money on the over just makes it feel like Braxton Garrett figures out his shit and pitches well here today. And maybe we get a lower scoring Marlins win. But I just probably lean under, but no bet for me on the total.
No, plus Sean says watching how long Dave Roberts left Lynn last night was telling. I think it's a really good point. And the double M Mal player today sitting at 3-1 right now. Mally, OG low bagger, and a very strong, consistent, skilled one as well. So we get the double M play of the day rolling. I love it. Londo says everyone is on the Marlins. What could go wrong? Remember.
Well, I feel like everyone's on the Dodgers, Londo.
But remember, this is crucial. This is very important. 81% of the tickets are on the Marlins or on the Dodgers. 81% of the tickets and 92% of cash. So just because our chat is on something, don't think it also is an example of everywhere else.
At Londo, the first 15 minutes of this breakdown, that's a joke, Jimmy, was everyone saying Dodgers, Dodgers, Dodgers. Ron Crawford's on the Dodgers. There's a shitload of people on the Dodgers. And
Billy Friedrich says Rebenga Dodgers win. I cannot double up on this spot. So if I think Pepillo might be vulnerable on the road, do I also think that maybe the Dodgers aren't putting out their best arms in the bullpen right now to get everybody ready. I've got to do that shit on my own, but I'm uncomfortable doubling up on this spot. It's another one of those spots where we are late to the party. Delaware Park full card from Razor Sharp Picks. There's BT in the house. Let's copy and paste this full card. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. It means an absolute ton. Absolute ton, man. And you know how much work goes into that full card, the Delaware Park? That's his home track, too. Okay, let's move on. Next spot on the board for 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners 78-61. We are 10 wins away from cashing the over 87.5 season win total. That looked very vulnerable at times this year. Going to be a comfortable casher. If we cash the Mariners win total over and we cash the Astros to win the division, I mean, God, I fucking need this shit so bad.
Yeah, it'd be great. What about our Orioles again?
Well, that's everything's coming up right now, but it's been a horrific season. Thank God the fucking record's off. Rays 85-55, 47-24 at home. We're at the Trop in St. Petersburg, Florida. Luis Castillo versus Zach Littell. Castillo, Littell. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. And we have Littell and the Rays at plus 113. They opened up at plus 118. So there's been a 5-cent move towards the Tampa Rays. And that makes sense. When this line came out, I was kind of confused by it. This total is sitting at 8.5. This total opened up at 8. So there's a half run move to the over. God, Castillo, you look at these numbers, 11-7, 3.19 ERA, 1.03 whip. They're very good. Now, he has allowed 25 home runs, but they're very good. But why do I feel like I've got this bias of consistently seeing these lines like his last one at the Mets, 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 Ks, 2 walks, 2 Ks?
I've been on that all year. I mean, Dabby Cab says we have this back and forth every time Castillo pitches. He's got a 3 ERA. You told me that's not good. And I say, no, every time I look at his lines, every time he's giving up runs. And if every time this dude's going to give up 3 runs in 5 innings, I'm not going to fucking bet that guy. If any pitcher you're betting first 5 gives up 3 runs, I guarantee you like 90% of the time you're fucked. So I'm right there with you. I've been a Castillo hater all year.
But I still fear him. I don't feel comfortable fading him. Like here, Zach Littell, he's not been good. His last start, 4 2/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 strikeout, and 4 2/3. He's got a 4.69 ERA, 11 home runs allowed this year, and 63 1/3. At home, he's been lit up and smoked. 6.04 ERA. Now he's 25 Ks and 2 walks, and we know how much the Rays care about, low walk totals. But, man, 291 opposing batting average. Mariners versus righties, 249, 746 OPS. Rays are smashing righties, 282, 816 OPS since August 1st. Rays bullpen, 3.16 ERA. Mariners bullpen, 3.16 ERA. Rays bullpen, 3.90 ERA. So let's take a look now then at the cash flow for this one. You have 30% of the tickets and 57% of the cash on the Mariners. I'm going to go through all of his bad starts and see what sort of bounce back we had when you break down what your thoughts on this spot are. From a total scenario, we have 35% of the tickets and 47% of cash on the under. And TJ, see, I kind of had a feeling that this is a bounce back spot. The gift is in. And it is the Seattle Mariners first 5. Wow. Seattle Mariners first 5. Pop this in here. So, Jose, take it away. What are your thoughts on this spot and how are you betting it?
I think it's a tough game. I was probably just going to stay off of it, honestly. I think this line's weird. I mean, this seems like a remarkably cheap price for the Seattle Mariners and Luis Castillo, but we talked about it. I don't really trust Luis Castillo. Now, the fact that it's the gift obviously has me looking at it side eye thinking, am I going to take this? Because it's been a minute since we've had a gift and we know what the gift's record is. And one of the nice parts about this little comeback here is that I've done a good job listening to the chat tailing some great plays put in there. Again, shout out to Mike yesterday with the Marlins bet. So if I'm betting it, I'm just going to tail the gift probably, and we'll see at the end of the card if I end up adding it on there. Because again, I'm 6 games on this card. You know, I typically have those back to reality days, and I'm trying to keep it rather light here. So I'll add or I'll write down first 5 as well here. But I have a distrust of the Luis Castillo experience. But I mean, all that being said, I still bet the fucking Seattle Mariners to win the World Series. I don't know. His last start against them, or his only start, I should say, against the Rays this year was 6 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned as well. 2 home runs allowed there. So, we'll see.
Look at this. Let's look at his bad starts this year. On May 16th, he allowed 5 earned runs in 5 innings against Boston, came back and didn't allow a run over 6 versus the A's. His next, but just look at his bad starts. That's all I want to do. His next bad start, over 4 or more earned runs was on July 2nd. He allowed 4 earned runs at home against the Rays. He went into Houston and shut him out over 7 innings. His next bad start, August 4th at the Angels. He allowed 7 earned runs over 6 innings. His next start, he allowed 1 earned run over 6 innings at home versus Baltimore. The next bad start at KC allows 4 earned runs over 7 innings. The start after that, 1 earned run over 7 innings. Every single time he's allowed 4 or more runs, he's shoved the next start. But then look at this Mike M stat. I mean, I don't trust Littell. You want a pitcher, an elite pitcher, to kind of come off a bad start because it has them more focused.
I would rather bet him.
And also this 5-cent move, I think this line was just put out wrong. I don't think the Rays should have been this big of a dog at home. They're 47-24 at home. I don't see this necessarily as the market moving towards the Mariners, even though I do kind of like where he's at there. I like where TJ's at. And obviously I'm scared by Mike M's stats and angle there, but I just think it was just lined wrong. Simple. So, all right. And TJ says Seattle bats on fire. 2.879 OPS last 14 and crushing righties. Littell lucky to only allow 4 earned runs last 3 starts each. Yeah, I like the first 5. I like the first 5 for the Mariners. Okay. Twandon, I mean, that's a tricky thing for me to answer right now. And, you have a guy like Professor, people with models could tell you what their thought process is on the line value. But I just think that this was lined a little too high on the Mariners full game when you have a Rays team that wins 2 out of every 3 games at home. So TJ says certainly not a full game bet on the M's. Too much of an advantage late for Tampa Bay. Okay, so we're going to roll on. And I'm curious then, Mikey M., the star of our Thursday night show this evening, our Thursday night live stream. Are you then, with that angle, going to fade Castillo here off a bad start? And Jose, are you moving on this? Are you staying off?
I think I'm going to move on it. I trust my guy, TJ. I'll trust the gift. I'll move on first 5 Seattle Mariners. And by the way, Mike, since you're here, shout out to you, of course. Congrats on the show, obviously, this Thursday, or today, I guess I should say. Let me know if I cashed our Dabby Cab bet. I would love to know. I'd like to know if I got the under on the bets there. But yeah, I am on first 5 here with TJ. I'll bet it after the show.
Well, let's just quickly line shop so we can discuss it here. Mariners first 5 is minus 130. Will Hill, bet Chris. So let's just quickly see what it is at Pinnacle. And thank God the Orioles have saved this whole account, man.
Now, I will admittedly be furious if Luis Castillo goes out there and does his 6 innings, 3 earned runs, et cetera, bullshit again. So
minus 125 for you. Mariners first 5, minus 125. Mike M will be on the Rays. Okay, we move on. Rays first 5 full game. We move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers 63-76, 34-36 on the road at the New York Yankees 70-69, 38-33 at home at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, baby. I miss New York. Let's go into the line history here, 85 Fahrenheit in New York, 9.6 miles per hour right to left, 9.6 down to 7.5 miles per hour. Park factors here at Ballpark Pal, plus 25% home runs, plus 10% runs. Didn't really help me yesterday. Ugh. So here we go. We have Carlos Rodon, who we've been waiting for. This to me shouts that he should be able, that now with the amount of games he's had, he should have a good start, but God, he's been hard to trust. The Yankees open up minus 152. They're now minus 159. 7 cents of movement towards them. From a total side of things, we have it opening up at 8 and now at 8.5. It's opened up at 8 at 4:31 p.m. yesterday and moved to 8.5 at 10:47 p.m. Going to the cash flow then for this one, we have the over has 83% of the tickets, but just 67% of the cash. From a money line perspective, 40% of the tickets and 70% of the cash are on Carlos Rodon to pitch well here. Joe Yurkovich says can't fade the Yanks right now. Markel's also on the Rays. And Hoops 590 liking that Mariners first 5 look. Robert Franklin on Yankees Tigers over 8.5. Justin McElvey has the over 8.5 on his card. Our guy Fly White Mike on the Tigers first 5. North Ender's been riding the Yankees. And Billy Friedrich on Rodon under 5.5 Ks. Eduardo Rodriguez, 10-7, 3.11 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, 124 in the third, 123 Ks. His last start, 6 2/3, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 2 walks in a 4-2 win at the White Sox, who can't hit. But he's been pitching very well, and he's been very good on the road all year. 6-4, 3.03 ERA. He's only allowed 5 home runs in 71 and a third innings on the road. Carlos Rodon on the other side has not been good in a small sample size of 42 and 2/3 innings this year. He's allowed 11 jacks in 42 and 2/3, 5.70 ERA. His last start was much better. It was a 6-2 win at Houston. We know what they do to lefties. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk. He's not been very good at home. I mean, can you imagine Carlos Rodon with 17 Ks and 11 walks? That's his K walk ratio at home, and that's shocking. But the Tigers don't hit lefties. 189, 614 OPS, and the Yankees, for whatever reason, I have their numbers against righties here, which is ass clownery. If you could pull up the Yankees numbers against lefties here for us, because I screwed that up with the lack of sleep being my only possible excuse. Tigers bullpen 5.03 ERA since August 1st, while the Yankees ERA is 3.27. Joshua Nolette, great to see you. Darren Turner liking the over in this game. And 2 bets for TJ on an MLB today. The second one is Detroit first 5 money line at plus 146. Not trusting Carlos Rodon. Take it away for us here, Jose. Your plan for Tigers Yankees.
Yeah, well, TJ will not be surprised to hear me say that I like the Tigers here, honestly. Everyone knows I fade the Yankees in most cases. But here's the thing. I mean, they finally did what most any smart franchise would do, not for the reasons they should do it, but they finally brought up the children. Jason Dominguez has finally showed up, and Yankees are finally energized here. They put out the pasture all those old fucks that didn't give a shit anymore, and they put out the young guys that are fighting to get spots in the majors. So obviously the Yankees are coming out here and playing well. And we can all say that they obviously did this to boost attendance for this last month of the season because they're not going to get playoff money. So we'll just put that in there. But here's the thing. I think Carlos Rodon is not good. I just don't think he's very trustworthy or reliable. He pitched okay in his last 2 appearances at Houston and at the Rays. 5 innings, 4 2/3, both 2 earned runs. So that's solid. But I just don't trust him still, even if the Tigers don't hit lefties. But, it is the Tigers. So I sit here and I could just go back and forth. And I'm like, I don't trust the Tigers enough to take them first 5 here, which makes me feel like my play should be a first 5 under here, honestly. And I saw everyone on the over, which doesn't make me feel great again. But a first 5 under here, because I know that the Yankees, the only people that can hit this year are lefties. We've said this many times. You fade them against every righty, and then once they get a lefty, that's their day to probably get the win. Since August 1st, they're 4th, 154 weighted runs created plus against lefties, full season, they're 6th, 116 weighted. Actually, I should hold on, update this, put the last 2 days in there because maybe it climbed. Nope, still 7th, I should say, 116. So I think that they can hit most lefties, but this is a lefty they've seen plenty of times before, and he's just gotten to him. Eddie's pitched well against the Yankees in his career when he was on the Red Sox. Specifically, let's just go. Baseball Savant obviously has the little lovely batter versus pitcher. The two guys that I really care about how he pitches well against: Aaron Judge, 194 batting average and 39 plate appearances, 1 home run, 13 strikeouts. Mike Stanton, 095 batting average, 25 plate appearances, 21 at bats, so walks in there, 11 Ks, no home runs, only 2 hits. So I really think that Eddie can go out there and pitch well. Now, obviously, we'll see how the young prospects do against Eddie. That's an X factor that we'll see about, because Jason Dominguez has decided to come up and hit several home runs. I lean under here, but I don't think I'm just going to get to the window here. So I'll probably end up passing, but first 5 under would be my only play.
God, I wish you guys weren't on the Tigers here. Doesn't it just yeah, it's all good, Mikey. Welcome, man. Doesn't it? I guess I got to get over this, and I can understand. I can completely understand why someone would be on the Tigers first 5 at plus 146 or whatever it is. But doesn't it just feel like after being able to shut down the Rays, not shut down, to have good performances against the A's and the Astros, that this Tiger should be so easy for Rodon? He should finally show why he got the big contract.
He should, but I mean, again, it's just the Yankees are. When people go to the Yankees, their numbers just fall off for whatever reason. Some people just can't handle New York, and we saw Carlos Rodon immediately getting pissed off at the fans after getting shit talked a little bit. So, again, it's the Tigers, and their numbers against lefties are horrific. So, it's a low bar to get over. I mean, we're not talking about the fucking Atlanta Braves here, the Astros. The Tigers are 27th against lefties. Since August 1st, 76 weighted runs created plus. So the more I talk about it, the more I want the first 5 under. And it's just crazy. 17% of the bets and 33% of the money on the under. That just doesn't make sense to me here. I know everyone will just look at Eddie Rodriguez as a lefty and see him get crushed. But I mean, even historically, again, his career against the Yankees is 8-6 with a 3.7 ERA, pretty solid. Last year, only 1 start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs on a home run. The year before that, he was 2-0 with a 3.5 and 5 starts, 23 innings pitched, 8 earned runs on 2 home runs. I just think he just pitches well against the Yankees. So I'll just move on the first 5 under and stop fucking hemming and hawing over here.
You know what? Let's just quickly do this. We'll line shop for you here, but let's just see what I did this last night. But God, I'm just not sleeping at all, so I can't remember exactly what the hell I looked at. Let's just go to the Rodriguez's, I guess, with Dominguez, and what a call by Big Ragu giving out Rodriguez or Dominguez props yesterday. But against Rodriguez, I mean, LeMahieu hits him hard. Torres, Kiner Falefa hits him hard. Judge, I mean, 167 and 30 at bats. And then for Detroit, Cabrera hits 360, but who cares? He shuts down everybody else.
It would be sick to see my guy go deep.
I guess I'm going to need. Maybe Joe Yurkovich is right. Rodon will pitch well. Also, Yankees playing well. Price is right all the way around. Pass. I guess I need more time on this, but I feel like Rodon's going to pitch well today. And if I feel that, don't fucking just say it. Bet it. So I guess I have to bet it. And so, okay, let's get your let's get your first 5 under here.
I've got 4.5 minus 125.
Where is that?
Bet online.
4.5 minus 125. Yeah, minus 118 at Sports Interaction. So just for my record keeping, I'll give you that. But I got Pinnacle up here. They've moved it to 4. They've moved it to 4. So give me a second here. Let me just see what they have for you for this one. They have 4.5 is at minus 127. Wow. So wow. Well, you know what? Let me just take one last, because I agree with that look, but that 8 to 8.5 does make me uncomfortable. This opened up at 4.5. Moved to 4, 11:38 p.m. Then back up to 4.5. Yeah, I like your first 5 under. I do. Perky saying Yanks are clicking offensively, and it seems fitting Rhode Island himself today, especially with the Tigers. And Mally Mouse says Yanks and under, so simple. Can it all be so simple then? Little woo! Woo, woo, woo. All right. I agree with you. Okay. I don't know if that first 5 is going to be really available after the show, but it's not a long show today.
Wow.
Kev S says you have more time to bet, my lad. Yeah, but what you are seeing here in front of you is Jose, a capper who has pulled himself out of the gutter, who's winning and cashing and confident, and then you see this fucking guy not sleeping, going, "Oh, I want to do that, but I gotta do that. Fuck, what am I gonna do? I don't want to talk about it, not fuck bet it." So you're seeing. I don't know. I'm embarrassed. Okay, I like the first 5 for the Yankees, and I also like the first 5 under. Jose is on the first 5 under 4.5 minus 118, 9 cents better than it is at Pinnacle. And I still am adamant, and it's been very successful for me at Bet365. When I see Bet365 not noticing or being a little bit behind on a Pinnacle move, it's been very rewarding for me in all sports across the board. Nutflush said yesterday, you said, how can you trust that Ryu is going to pitch well? And I respond, yeah, well, thank you, but I didn't bet it. That stuff just, okay, don't get mad. Stay calm. But thank you. Let's move on. 7:20 p.m. Eastern. St. Louis Cardinals 61-78, 30-38 on the road at the Atlanta Braves, 90-48, 44-24 at home, Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. North Ender's saying we've all been there. Jim, you'll get right. Part of what has built everything we have done as a group here is the transparency and the honesty and just being real with each other. And, so like, I understand that it's important that, oh, what the fuck? Let's just fucking move on. 7:20 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals 61-58, 30-38 on the road at the Braves, 90-48, 44-24 at home. Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Lot of money the books made yesterday on Dakota Hudson and the.
What a beautiful son of a bitch that guy is. Great times.
A lot of money. 85 Fahrenheit, 7.4 miles per hour out to left field. Stays between 4.7. Let's go over to Ballpark Pal and see what they see. Truist Park plus 4%, homers minus 1%, doubles and triples plus 6% runs. Troy Torrance says he had 4 buddies on Braves money line their parlays. Yeah, it's a parlay burner.
Jesus, come
parlay
on.
Burner. Darren Turner says don't bet minus 300 favorites anymore. Yeah, it's just. I mean, we watched Jose fade them with. I
was on plus 1.5 yesterday. It was the easiest bet. One of the Earls called me a pussy for not betting money line, and I agreed with him. If I bet money line on the Cardinals too, I'd be plus money right now.
Yeah. No, I know. I hear that, but sometimes for me, when I take a first 5 plus a half, would I have actually bet it first 5? If you did first 5 plus half or like plus 130, would you have actually bet the first 5 plus 210 plus 215? At least you got to the window.
Yeah.
But I hear what I
it's
hear.
Been it's been the most profitable minus 300 angle by far this year. If you've got balls, you take the money line. But if you're safe, the plus 1.5s have just been cashing because for some reason, all of these minus 300 games end up being close. Except for yesterday when the fucking dog just went out there and put his dick down their throats.
TJ says the model projection here is the third most lopsided of the season. 6.41 to 3.38 for a projected 3.03 run win by Atlanta. With that said, he's off. Adam Wainwright coming off a good start. So funny.
He's been grinding for win 200. Just can't get there. And he's not even like at 199. He's at 198. He's fucked.
You know, it's really dangerous. It doesn't help when you do this. I don't know if you guys remember when Mark Burley was on the Jays. He had the long streak of 200 innings. And that last start of the year, a meaningless start, they had him out there to get to 200 innings, and he allowed like 9 or 10 runs in that first inning. They kept him out there to get to that 200 inning, and then it was like 13-14-0. And they're like, okay, let's just stop this. And he ended up at like 199 and a third. Okay, Wainwright, Fried. Let's get into the line history here for this one. 3 more games, and then we get into NFL, and then 3 best bets for me in college football and UTSA Texas State, where Jose will lead us with that one. We're going to go to the total first here. The total in this one is now at 10.5. It opened up at 10. It opened up at 4:33 p.m. and it lasted there till 8:59 in the morning. Let's move over we'll move to the over. Let's go over to the money line in this one. We have a huge minus 349 spot. This opened up minus 290, 59 cents of movement. Wow. Wow. Derek Parr says auto fade Wainwright. I mean, at this number. And Joe Yurkovich says he turned around his capping by fading why the market sentiment is where it is. And I've seen you saying that throughout the season, Joe, and I recognize it. And I was pretty confident coming into this baseball season after what we did last year. And, sports capping is a fickle hooer, and sometimes you need a slap in the face. And that's what I've certainly got this year. So let's move over. So we have a huge move to the Braves. Let's go over to the cash flow on this one. We have 81% of the ticket, 82% now of the tickets, 87% of cash on the Atlanta Braves. And from a total perspective, we're sitting here with 50-50 tickets, but 82% of cash on the over, and clearly the markets are concerned. Not Flush Allen says, I don't give a shit. So the Braves are going to destroy Adam Wainwright. I told you weeks ago what the Cards were going to try to do to get him number 200. DT liking the over in this one. So Wainwright on the road has an 8.67 ERA. Usually I have the strikeouts and the walks and the homers. I guess I just stopped after that. Max Fried coming off a really impressive start at the Dodgers. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 10 Ks, and 2 walks. At home, he's throwing just 24 and a third. 295 opponent's batting average, 3.70 ERA. Just hasn't looked quite as dominant. Cards are lefties 227, 693 since August 1st, while the Braves are 286, 860 versus righties in that same time period. Cards bullpen 4.90 ERA, while the Braves are 3.01. Joe Yurkovich says market sentiment here is Wainwright sucks and the Braves offense is awesome. Is that justified? Yes. And he still passes. Take it away. I can't wait to hear your plan with this minus 350 fave in the Atlanta Braves. Jose, floor is yours.
I will not be watching a second of this baseball game, but I will be betting the plus 1.5 for the St. Louis Cardinals here. Again, I keep saying it. No baseball team should be minus 300 at any point for any reason. I don't know. I've been saying this for almost 2 years now. And I've got a lot of followers now in the church of the minus 300 fade. Like, I know the Earl brothers. They're my, I don't know Bible references. I'm not a Bible guy, but they're my fucking disciples there. They're just spreading the word of the gospel as well, betting the money lines as well for the minus 300 fade. So shout out to them. But again, it's just these games always end up being closer than they seem. Max Fried coming off of a very, very good start against the Dodgers. You know, I think he's just trying to get into the postseason healthy. Again, the Braves don't give a fuck about these games. They're just trying to get to the postseason. They lost in the first round of the playoffs last year, and that's the number one thing in their head, I'm sure. Get to the postseason and beat the Phillies in round one. That is what their goal is, or whoever they play, obviously, because last year was the Phillies. But I'll take my +1.5. I'll roll my dice with Adam Wainwright. I'm not going to watch a second of this ball game, and if it was 8-0 in the second inning, would I be surprised? No. But I'll roll the dice. I'll take my chance here. I've got on our friends at Bet Online +1.5 at +150. I mean, that's just crazy to me.
Not flush. That team total is 6.5 at -108 for the Braves, and that +150 is pretty market wide. Pinnacle offering the same spot here.
Yeah, and plus, hey, Cardinals offense is the reason why they've been in these last games. I mean, they opened up like a 7-6-0 lead against the Braves yesterday against Spencer Strider, who, again, we've talked about on my program as a vulnerable pitcher. I think he's overlined every single time out there, and I think he can be faded quite comfortably, to be honest. Obviously there are moments. I did it against the fucking Giants. I bet the over, and the Giants didn't help for dick shit, but the Giants are one of the worst teams against, anyone, I guess, against offense. So I just think that the Braves here should not be -200, obviously. So we'll take the +1.5 and hope that the Cardinals offense can get some runs against Max Fried here.
See, it's funny when cappers see something and they have different, final thoughts. Nutflush says the entire public sees the game last night and says, I'm not taking the Braves again. In my thought, I was like, the entire public sees them lose and thinks, oh, they're not going to lose again. They're not going to get swept by the Cardinals. But, you could be more right than me. Okay, let's roll on. I'm not going to do anything in this spot here. Next up, 7:40 p.m. Eastern, the Arizona Diamondbacks 72-68, 34-33 on the road at the Chicago Cubs 76-64, 40-31 at home at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Ryan Nelson, who's been so good on the road all year, there was times where I was like, this doesn't make any sense. The splits don't make sense. I've faded him on the road at times. I've trusted him at home, and both times I've taken it right in the prison pocket and had to deal with that. Javier Assad has been very good. Noli's a huge believer in what Assad is doing. And that last start, 2-1 loss at the Reds, he was spectacular. 8 innings, no runs, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Start with I was fortunate. At first, I was livid. I was picking up Ella at school, and it was 0-0. Or no, the top first no run scored. And I was like, okay, when should I bet this live? It was at 10.5. And then I drove such a short distance, and then it was 3-0 Cubs. I was like, oh, I can't bet it live. Then it ends up at 8-2 at 10, and oh God, what a roller coaster ride! It's 66 Fahrenheit, 10.8 miles an hour in. So very, very different weather than what we had yesterday. Twandon says that he can't bet against Assad. Oh, you're asking Twandon about the line value from our days last year. We've stopped paying that. Well, I wasn't paying it, but it's possible we could bring it back this year. But we for a tenth of the price, we stopped finding out what the line value spot was and just got the information from Action Network. Whether or not it has anything to do with my struggles is something I probably need to think about. Joe Yurkovich on Cubs, Diamondbacks first 5 under 4.5. They're 1777 memorabilia now. And Troy Thorne says Ryan Nelson's allowed 0.3 home runs per inning since July. Now, a lot of that has been, at home, not on the road, but it's tricky to trust that. He has allowed 22 home runs in 125 innings. He's allowed 10 home runs in 73 innings on the road. That last start, 10-5 loss at home, 6 earned runs over 3 innings. Assad's a monster. He's an absolute monster. So we have not a good situation for offense to get us started. Let's go into the market movements here. Second to last game before we get into NFL. We have the Cubs sitting at -156. They opened up at -176. A 20-cent move to the Diamondbacks. It's funny. There's been a lot of spots with the Orioles where the line hasn't moved and the public's been all over them, but there has not been. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be. Has there ever been a time when the market's gone 20 cents against the Orioles?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But I was all my friends keep making so much money off the Cubs.
Yep.
My friends' fathers are making so much. I mean, Troy's dad's about to pick up a K off of the season.
Goddamn, really? What the hell?
Deacon Mike's about to pick up 2.5 K on the season win total. Everybody's making money off the Cubs, and I am not.
Well, I'm a good guy. I don't know what this is called, but I got Helga's dad a Cubs World Series ticket a long time ago.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I tried to tell him that the Cubs were going to be good this year.
What was the number you got?
I don't know. It's something like absurd. It's like probably like 3,000, 2,500. I don't fucking know.
Got to be more than 30 to 1, doesn't it? I don't know. 30 to 1, maybe 40 to 1.
Well, yeah, I threw some shekels on there for him.
Well, this total opened up at 8.5 minus 105. There's been a 5-cent move to the under. This didn't come out till 8:03 this morning. Didn't come out till 8:03 this morning. So we have a big market move towards the Diamondbacks, which should in turn tell you that Ryan Nelson will pitch okay here. 87% of the tickets, 74% of the cash is on the under. That's a lot of money on the under for it not to be moving. And then, but maybe, and we'll look at it, maybe that's just because of the Diamondbacks bullpen struggles, but they've been a little better of late. And then 64% of the tickets on the Diamondbacks and 75% of the cash. 64% of tickets on the Diamondbacks? Joe Yerger says Nelson is better than the market thinks, and Assad is still a bit of an unknown by the public. All right, so the Diamondbacks versus righties since August 1st, 242, 720, Cubs 258, 799. The Diamondbacks bullpen 4.90 ERA since August 1st, while the Cubs is at 4. Take it away for us, Jose. Diamondbacks, Cubs.
By the way, Troy, great database point. He's saying the only game that there's been a 30-cent movement away from the Orioles, May 14th at home against the Pirates. The Orioles lost that game 4-0.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm going to stay off the Cubs here today. Like I have the Cubs written down -1, -113. Like I've got it written down. I want to bet it and I want to make it official. But I'll stay off here. I'm not going to poo-poo anyone's party. I would be on the Cubs normally. And starting tomorrow, hopefully, I will be on the Cubs every day, et cetera, et cetera. -1 money line, whatever is the better price there. But today I'm going to stay off. This is one, an effort to not put my stink on saturated and Troy's fun there. 2, that 30-cent or 20-cent line movement obviously scares me. And 3, I just, Javier Assad's coming off of 2 really, really good starts. 7 innings shut against the Dodgers. Or sorry, that's Max Fried, excuse me. 8 innings shut against the Cincinnati Reds. 7 hits, 7 Ks, 1 walk there. And then against the Pirates, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks, 2 walks. I mean, those are probably the best 2 starts of that guy's career. Do I expect a third good start from him? Typically, no. And then Ryan Nelson, we've talked about this before, Jimmy. You expect that third start, when a pitcher has 2 shit starts. You always expect that third one to just continue the trend, and then you realize that these guys are professional athletes, and they're up here for a reason, and they can buck trends. So I think you're right. So I will probably stay off this game. Shout out to Troy, by the way. Dropped another. He said, wait, one more on the road. The line moved 34 cents. The Cubs beat the Orioles 10-3. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that operates here today. Maybe that move is a little bit too much, and you guys jump on the Diamondbacks here, but I'll be off. And then starting tomorrow, hopefully, I will be on the Cubs -1 in my line for the rest of the year.
What do you think of this first 5 under 4.5? I know Robert Franklin on the other side, but I kind of am with the thinking that this will be a kind of a, it's winds blowing in double digits. It's cooler than it's been. You have a market move towards the Diamondbacks who've just traveled.
87% of the bets and 70% of the money on the under is pretty ridiculous. So honestly, I guess with just that market move on the Diamondbacks, it does make you feel like either Ryan Nelson shoving or they're getting to Assad here. I just don't trust Ryan Nelson at the end of the day. I expect him to pitch better than 3 innings, 6 earned runs, but I think I would rather have full game under than first 5 under personally.
But I don't trust the Diamondbacks bullpen. at all. And the Cubs bullpen hasn't been great. It's their offense that's taking care of business.
Mhm.
But I've been wrong on these first 5 unders in full game. Okay. I'm interested in the first 5 under. Interested. I may get to the window. Let's talk about the final game here on the board. And we were given a warning from TJ about fading the Angels today. And Troy Torrance says the Cubs at home lines never move 30 cents. However, when the line moved 20 cents or more, the Cubs are 4-0 straight up. Winning by 4, 6, 14, and 5.
Wow. Yeah, hey, if you Cubs guys keep fucking betting the Cubs, I'll join you tomorrow.
Wow.
Prove it to me today, Cubs.
BJ very confident in them. Okay, let's go. So
that's shocking.
We just made a lot of money on the Orioles sweep, and they're just such a professional group. They're all business all the time, can be counted on at all times. And the Angels' young guys, Hoppy and these guys, they're playing hard. They're just bad. Their pitching staff is horrific, and their bullpen's trash. 6.88.
It's not like they have a good coach either. Like at least the Orioles have a great coach that's been there and has done his shit.
Yeah.
Hyde. I mean, Phil Nevins is just a fucking walking slapdick. So
Cal Quantrill comes back from the IL and has a really nice start, 3-2 win at home versus the Rays. They had some momentum going into that Twins series. They did lose the final game against the Rays, but they took 2 or 3 against the Rays, and then they go in and get just destroyed by the Twins in the first 2 games. Then they win the last game, have some modicum of hope here in the last 22 games of the season. And tonight they get to play well. The Twins don't. So if they win this game, they'll be 5.5 back with some hope, some tiny, tiny bit of hope. And that's what I was sort of banking on. The Guardians are going to go all out right now, but for how much longer? I mean, is this Francona's last 22 games of his career?
It is, yeah. I'll break that news down for everyone. I talked about that earlier in the week as well, that there was rumors that this was Terry's last year, and then the Athletic article came out that he said like his body and mind are not in it, so he's done so. And I think I agree with your sentiment that I think they play hard for him last 22 games.
Ronnie and Burgess says at this point the A's are a better team than the Angels. So let's look at the marketplace. Well, the marketplace isn't going to help. I'm not sure, because Quantrill has to step up here. He's been bad. He comes off the IL. He's fresh. He looks good. I mean, we don't need to break into this too much. We don't have too much information. Do you have any feel on this spot here?
No, this is a stay-off game for me pretty easily. A game I wasn't interested in, and one of those nice things about baseball now that we're in so deep. There are just some games where I know I'm not going to be interested in and not have a bet in it, so I just easy passes for me. So this is one of them. I will say Cal Quantrill against the Angels earlier in the season, and I don't know what the date exactly was when Mike Trout got hurt, but 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a home run, 2 Ks, 3 walks against these very Angels on 5/13, whatever month and date or whatever month that is. So he's faced them before, pitched well against them. I could see him pitching well, but I just don't trust him enough, and don't trust the Guardians' bats enough. So pass game. So
we have TJ's spot there. It says he doesn't put a lot of stock in the first game back for Quantrill. 0.111 BABIP. I mean, that's just 7.42 xFIP. Great to see Parlay Angel in the house, man. Respect. My thinking is this. We talk about these professional athletes and motivation. You have Paul Quantrill on a 1-year contract, $5.5 million. He's 2-6 with a 6.16 ERA. These last few starts for him are so important to his financial future. They're so crucial. And you have a Guardians team that wants to fight for it a little bit here. Because if they can win 4 or 5 in a row, maybe they can put a little bit of fear into the Twins. And you have an Angels team that's giving up. So that's my thought process. Now I get what I don't think Canning's starting. I know he's listed on RotoWire, but why would he not be up right now? Maybe it's just because there's an opener, so maybe he's still gonna pitch.
Yeah, and I don't know if Ohtani is going to be in the lineup.
TJ says the beauty of this is situational betting is very, very low on how he caps. He's 80% data driven. The data keeps me off. No, that's what makes it so much fun to cap with you, TJ, because I love the situational side of things. Don't Tap podcast. Thank you for the kind words. And if it is Canning, he's good. His last start, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He's not been very good at home this year, but coming back after missing almost 2 years with a back injury, I've been impressed with what he's doing. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait for more information on the Guardians, but I feel like Cal's got so much motivation, and so do the Guardians, and the Angels don't. How could this be a pick'em right now? I mean, it's just absolutely nuts. And if it is a pick'em, then how could I possibly bet it? It makes no sense. TJ says, that said, I don't have a bet in. If Canning is announced, I will be on the Angels' first 5. And Joe Yuri says -105 really low for the Guardians if it's not Canning. You're absolutely right. Yes, Lucas Ryan, I remember that race. I remember that, but in that race, Gretzky was the only one that was trying, because he's competitive dude. Okay, so let's finish this off and get into football. We got NFL and MLB. Let's review all action. First off, Jose, who's had a heroic, how long has it been, comeuppance to get himself out of the gutter and leave me alone in said gutter. He's on the Marlins again. First 5 -102 and full game +106. And TJ says, if you like Cleveland, even if Canning goes, you need to bet it now. The problem is when I don't understand the line, I can't bet it. And maybe the line, would you say the line is the way it is because you look at Quantrill's numbers and they're horrific?
Yeah, I mean, it's I typically have a thing about betting pitchers coming off the IL. One of those first 2 starts is not going to be good, I think. And now that he's had a good first one, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he had a shit second one.
Jose's on the Marlins first 5 and full game. I'm extremely interested. But Vipers on the Dodgers -1. Brian Smith's on the Marlins team total over. Spreadsheet play today is the Dodgers. And BJ's best bet is the Cubs, which we'll get into here in a second. Then TJ's gift is the Mariners first 5 money line. The gift's record is spectacular. We'll get that up and rolling now that he's back in action with us. Jose joined him on the Mariners first 5. That was at -125, I believe, at Pinnacle.
I want to take off the gift and add the Cubs so fucking badly, but I'm keeping it on there. I just really cannot stand Luis Castillo this year. And if I get fucked by him in the Cubs role, I'm just going to be furious. But I still love and respect TJ, so I can't take it off. But shout out to Billy Friedrich, who is the guy that I jumped off his bandwagon immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Friedrich. Shout out to you, Billy. I love you, Billy.
DC again. We've always been working on how DC relays information. DC's coming off a monster day, 7-2, but that dash makes it look like you lost 1.2K.
That's what I thought as well.
Gotta watch those dashes. Watch those.
What about a colon in there? What about a colon?
Yeah, Yankees first 5 and first 5 under. I expect to be on. I would have to take the Yankees first 5 -0.5. Something I don't want to do. So I don't want to pay that price just in case Rodriguez does pitch well because Judge can't hit him. So we're going to need the youngsters to hit him, like Dominguez, who's coming off a monster day. He's going to have back-to-back monster days. Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5 -118. That was, I believe, at Sports Interaction. I'd like to join him on that. Jose's on the Cardinals +1.5 at +150. I find the first 5 under 4.5 interesting in Arizona, Chicago, but those first 5 unders are hurting me badly. I don't know what to do with the Guardians at this point. Christopher Comentini, here's a colon. And yes, there's been a lot of ass eating talk on the show. I can understand why that would interest you or surprise you or whatever.
I did not know the colon was near the ass.
Okay.
Did not know that.
All right. Okay, let's get into NFL. NFL here. Let's get started. First off, Tone Miggins. Levels play today's Chiefs team total over 28.5. He's also on Sky Moore anytime touchdown plus 200. Londo is on the over 53.5, and Razor Sharp Picks is also on the over. He's on the over 53. DJ giving you confidence in that stash. It's not good.
Thank you. It was really thick.
Saturated says, is Kelsey in or out? And he wants to play, I've heard, but he is going to be out. Now, that's not being confirmed. How in the world do you put him out? You just don't. It's just,
I think he's out too. I have him in a fantasy league, and I'm not playing him this week. So that's how I feel about that.
He's too important to everything that goes on with your.
And even if he is in, I just don't think that he'll be very effective. He just has a swollen knee, and it's very bruised, and you kind of need that to cut. And I'm sure that the defenders will be just diving straight at his knees. So
he can't be. He just can't be in. It's just now with Chris Jones unsigned in the final, going into the final year of a 4-year, $80 million contract. You know, you need something to boost morale, but look at your quarterback. Does he need morale boost? He doesn't. He just doesn't. Okay. Gagnon says Lions have Marvin Jones as wide receiver 2. He's all right, but getting old. They expect the rookie tight end to be the second receiving option. Rookie tight ends suck. Tough to take them, although they've been very good. Brett Kinney on Lions first half team total over 10.5 says seems like a smash spot. Gerald Jones agreeing with that. That's his best bet. Best bet.
Love that synergy from you guys.
Okay. So I'll pull up our NFL breakdowns here. I was very interested in the Lions at 6.5, and I was late to the party. I was worried that Chris Jones would be signed, and then I'm thankful. I was the first thing I saw when Bosa was signed by the Niners was I was like, well, look, Heritage is at 1.5. How fast does this get back to 2.5? What does this do to the total? And it got back to 2.5 real fast. And I wanted to know what was going on with Chris Jones. So as soon as we hear that Kelsey has the hyperextended knee, Dennis Garcia sends it to our group instantly, and it's at 6, and I pull the trigger. In the past, when I pulled the trigger based on an injury information, it's not always.
Last year you got murdered by it.
Didn't help.
Did not help.
It didn't help. But I can't help myself. 80 Fahrenheit clear, 6 miles per hour. So I have 2 spots, just 2, and that's going to change. That's going to change today. I just, the stakes are so goddamn high to succeed here. And last year we came in off a 12-2 preseason. So I was rolling and for me with my local, it's 25% in out every Friday. So, when you're up 1,700, you're only getting 25% of that. And so I fired on week 1. We had a monster week 1, but it's a bit of a different feeling right now with the year that I've had. So I've only moved on the Lions +6 in the Buccaneers +6. Pinnacle has not moved it to 4.5. They opened this up at 7 back on May 12th. This was at 6. Then we got news of the injury. And I guess it was at 6.5 heavily juiced, but it was basically 6. And they were not moving it very fast. So the news of the injury came in at 2:31 p.m. It was at 6 at -113 were the Lions. And then, 10 minutes later, -114. 3 minutes later, they're -119. Then a minute later, they go back to -118. So this is when all the other books were moving to 5 and 5.5. Then the 6 kept getting juiced that night. At 9:11 p.m., it got up to -129. Then there was a little bit of buyback. Then it gets to 5. And at this point, since it got to 5, this is pretty interesting. There's been a 2-cent move to the Chiefs. And when a guy like Mahomes is dealing with adversity, he steps up. And we all know what he's done in week 1, the first 3 weeks of the season. We all know what he's done. We also know that Jared Goff has been very good in season openers. Raymond Reichart giving us those stats. Goff 6-0 against the spread in season openers. Mahomes 4-1 against spread in openers. Road teams 9-6-1 last year in week 1. Away dogs of 5 or more, 6-2 against the spread last year. Chiefs are 14-25 since 2020, covering -3.5 or more. There's our guy Arthur Mead Jr. in the house. Arthur, can't wait to talk football with you and compete with you in the Cappers contest. You're a great friend of the show, and thank you so much for the dono, my man. Sky Dragon says lay it with KC and the under. Chang Kim says Goff is a way better quarterback than Stafford. Maybe in a year or two. I don't know, but I like the strong take from Chang. He says trading him when they won the Super Bowl, Goff could have done the same. Wow, that's a big take. North Ender says, this is from Dave Mason at BetOnline. Says, first we were Lions fans. Then after the Kelsey injury, we are Chiefs fans. Now on game day, looking like we will be Lions fans again. Very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. So, and then look at who said this. Somebody said, oh yeah, the line should be out in about 20 minutes, by the way. Somebody said this that I thought that I get. And I don't have it here, but somebody, and I'm for Pat is upset that I missed it. Oh yeah, North Ender says he's got Detroit plus 6.5 and he loved it. But now with Kelsey out, he's not as into it. And that's because now you have the best quarterback in the league dealing with adversity. So look, I get that. I get all of those feelings. So one thing we know is that these spots, these standalone games generally move to the under, but the public wants to bet the over, and the over is getting steamed, absolutely steamed. This over yesterday at 6:07 p.m. was over 52 at plus money. It was more than that. At 11:15 a.m., the over 52.5 was plus 104. The under 52.5 was minus 117. Since then, it's over. And it's funny that the lines, that the market is concerned about it. Pinnacle's moved it up to 54. I'm surprised that they're concerned about it. Definitely surprised. DC Capper looking at the Lions team total over 23.5. Bankroll Spence on Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Joe Yurkovich on Mahomes interception. Yes. 1777 says Mahomes never throwing a pick in week 1. Billy Friedrich says this is a square spot on the total first game of the year. People see the Chiefs. Oh, has to be an over. No. And I want the under, but the fact that these books are just sitting here raising this total I do find that surprising. Let's go to the most recent information on the cash flow. Like if the books weren't moving and everybody was saying over, I'd be like, oh God, we're going to cash this under so easily. Right now, we have 51% of the tickets on the Chiefs and 36% of the cash. The Lions before were like 40. I forget exactly. I think it was 43 or 44 and 60% of the cash on Tuesday. On the total, we have 56% of tickets, 53% cash on this over. Billy Friedrich says the books aren't moving the line. No, but they are, Billy. They're moving the line. That's my concern. I just said it was yesterday at 6 p.m. The under 52.5 was juiced to minus 117. Pinnacles moved it all the way up to 54 to pick them. Joe Yurkovich with the interception spot says Mahomes throwing to a whole new batch of receivers and no Kelsey mistakes can be made. So, the Lions made people a lot of money last year and they became extremely public. But Goff is coming off the best season of his career, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. They have a very strong line, offensive line, very strong. He was only sacked 23 times last year. David Montgomery comes in as RB1. Their front seven got stronger as the season went on, and now they bring Jack Campbell, who will split with Derek Barnes playing alongside Alex Anzalone. James Houston is going to be very good. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Kirby Joseph. It's a very good football team. And Campbell has really succeeded in one possession games. That's because they've been the dog so often. But, he's really succeeded, and, 16-3 against the spread in one possession games. So then you have Kelsey and the Chiefs, and no enemy. And then not only that, but, as we said, no Chris Jones and no Travis Kelsey. So, no Juju Smith-Schuster. Their offensive line is different. I'm very comfortable with my Lions +6. I also do want the under. Pegasus report says fools are betting the Lions Chiefs over. Take it away, Jose. What's your take? What's your bet? I can't wait to hear it. I'm very interested in how you're handling this one.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have anything official on the game, but I definitely lean under with everyone, or with you, Jimmy. I think that these, first game of the season, everyone wants to bet the over. Thursday night, we've got the offenses, yada, yada, yada. This feels like an under game to me personally. Like you guys mentioned, I saw, I think it was Billy Friedrich say that Mahomes literally has not played a game with Kelsey or without Kelsey on the field, which is, obviously that's a security blanket. That's his go-to guy. He has no receivers that, he could really trust over the years, like MVS, I guess. I think it's going to be a lot of Pacheco. I think it'll be a lot of running from the Lions as well to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. So I probably go under in this game. So if I'm betting aside at this point, honestly, I think it's Lions money line or pass. I would need the line to get to like 3.5 for the Chiefs if I'm betting the Chiefs on the spread. And I don't think it's going to get there. I think it'd be a little ridiculous if it got there. So if anything, sidewise, Lions money line and total, I'd be on the under.
I expect to move on the under. I'm just curious to see how high this goes. And I want to sit with it all day because of Londo and Razor on the over with such confidence. Tell me you didn't just say that, and Markel saying he has played twice without Kelsey. They're 2-0 without Kelsey.
Twice.
And thank you, Raymond Reichard. I read out all your trends. They were excellent. And Gerald Jones says heavy lean under 54. Ron Crawford says over. I mean, here you got, and the double M play today is the Guardians money line. Wow. God. You have Ron Crawford, Razor, Londo on the over. I mean, I'd be fine just sitting back with my Lions +6.
Yeah, you got a good number.
Troy Torrance saying, a lot of people got better than me. I easily could have got 6.5. I just wanted time. I think I rushed too much last year, and there's no need to rush in week one. In the future weeks, you do. I need to get my action in on Tuesdays because the lines move so much. Troy Torrance says primetime unders last year, 36-15 to the under. And then Troy Torrance says Chiefs at home last year, 8-2 to the under, and totals at 54 or higher last year, 8-1 to the under.
Wow.
So strategic investment says Andy Reid 19-1 with first game of the season. Oh, I don't care who wins. I just want it to be within 6 points. The question is, do I add the under? That's all. And I still need time on this. Cons Clip says you got to think about if you like Detroit, the team total over, which I do, and if you like Kansas team total over, which I do, easy over spot. It's just not an easy over spot here. I don't. Now, I see a lot of people very confident. Pat Labatt taking Detroit money line. I see a lot of people very confident, and that'll just give me more pause here. I would be very, very fine going into this with just the +6. Very, very comfortable. And so we'll see how this all bangs out. I'm on the Lions +6 at -110. And our guy, Troy Torrance, the star of our new Bankroll Blitz show every Tuesday, he's on the Lions +6.5. He's on the Lions +6. And now he's on the Lions money line as well. And he's on the under 54.5 from weeks ago.
Shout out to Troy.
Okay. And North End says, do it, Jim. God, can I just enjoy a football game? Do Do I have to sit here with an investment also on the under 54.5 and be pacing back and forth, telling people not to talk to me and hoping for failure? I don't know. I'll have to decide. Okay, that's our NFL breakdown. Jose, let's get into Saturated says no, Jimmy. Look, I know the life we've chosen for ourselves. And it will not God, gamblers are not in the blue zone, man. What's our average age of
I don't know what the fuck the blue zone is.
You don't need to worry about it, but for us who are getting older, it's where people live a long time. Okay, there's Boogeyman. Let's move on to college football. Pat Labatt says Lions are terrible on national TV. But I don't care what the Lions have been. They were 13-1 in Campbell's first year, 9-8 last year. What are they now? I don't give a fuck what they were. Okay, let's get into college football. I am excited about this. Let's get in. Saturated. Guys. Okay. That's going to live for too long here. Let's get into college. Oh, yeah. What's up?
You did say that. That was factual statements.
DJ says, what's the record after eating ass? Okay, I have 3 best bets in college football, and I love them. I do. Now, I could, that doesn't necessarily equate to glory, but I love them. And they're all very similar situations. You guys will notice, and they're situations that I want to bet all year. Then we have Jose breaking down his UTSA. Now, Jose didn't know the games that I was betting until now, so he doesn't have them capped. So I'm not, so just jump in anytime if you want to add anything. I know that you didn't prepare for these games, and I'm not going to, put you on.
All right. By the way, for the Texas State UTSA, breakdown, I think if you're watching with children, you should probably tell them to go to the bathroom or go tell them to play outside for that breakdown. Let's get
started. Let's get started. We start 12 p.m. Eastern on Saturday with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 2-0 on the young season at the NC State Wolfpack 1-0. We're at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina. 80 Fahrenheit, scattered thunderstorms, 6 miles per hour. On Saturday and Sunday, we have scattered thunderstorms, all over the east, and you never know if they're actually going to have any kind of effect or not. So it's important, especially with totals, to keep an eye on what the hell's going on with these thunderstorms. Let's go into the line history here. We're going to use Pinnacle's line history in this one. We have these Notre Dame Fighting Irish opening up at 7.5, and it moved to 7 within 2 minutes of the opening line. It moved to 7. People were betting Notre Dame, and then on Tuesday it started to change. It moved to 7.5, and I expect. I shouldn't say started it. It moved back to 7.5, but I think that initial move made a ton of sense to me, and I'll go over more. But the move towards NC State immediately, 2 minutes in, we know that that's the people that the books are most concerned about, and they change the line accordingly. Then it moves back to 7.5 at 10:17 a.m. on Tuesday. So it gets the plus 7.5 minus 110 for NC State. Now it's at minus 116, that plus 7.5. I expect this to go back to 7. Darren Turner on NC State plus 7.5. Collins Clip says Hartman played well in first 2 games this season. Oh, Collins Clip saying when it was raining in Ireland. Yeah, look, I get it. And Billy Friedrich saying State ain't that great. No, I get that. They're not that great. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. On this one, we have. Sorry, I should have had this up already. We have 77% of the tickets on Notre Dame and 53% of the cash. So you're going to see a similarity on all of my action here today. NC State has just 23% of the tickets and 47% of the cash. And a lot of the books, not Pinnacle, but the books who came out with lines earlier, did have this at 8 at one point. On the total, we're sitting here with 34% of the tickets and 59% of cash on the under. And I have interest in the under. Collins Clip says, I see Notre Dame being up 3+ touchdowns and winning by 20+. Yes, I expect that sentiment because Notre Dame has opened up with 2 very easy wins against extremely weak competition. 42-3 over Navy in Ireland, 56-3 at home over Tennessee State. That game in Ireland was not a real road game. They had a ton of fans there, and the game at home over Tennessee State was a cakewalk. Robert Franklin on Notre Dame -7. And Ronnie and Berge said Hartman lost to them last year with Wake. So NC State opened up with a hard-fought 24-14 win on the road over a much-improved UConn squad. The Wolfpack defense was going to be a concern to start the year. They returned just 5 starters. They lost all ACC linebackers Drake Thomas and Isaiah Moore. They held Connecticut to 273 yards of offense. Now, UConn's not going to be a good offense, but that was important. Important to do that on the road. Important to gain some confidence. Notre Dame has won 28 straight regular season games against ACC teams. And Dave Doran knows Sam Hartman very well, as Ronnie and Berge was just saying. Who cares what Sam Hartman has done against this very weak competition? I don't care. 33 of 40 for 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. Play a real football team on the road. And maybe you are very good this year. Maybe you are. NC State had their 16-game home winning streak snapped in last year's home finale against Boston College. They don't have to deal with that winning streak. Robert and I and Brendan Armstrong have this history. We all know what Brendan Armstrong did last year in Virginia. He was atrocious. He was horrible. Did he look that good against UConn? He threw for 155 yards. He ran for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. They only attempted 26 passes. I expect that to continue. Now, when I say that NC State Wolfpack, returned 5 players on defense, there's still, and those 5 players are very strong, there's still a sentiment that this was an extremely strong defense last year, and that will get stronger and stronger as the season goes on. This is a home dog of over a touchdown against a team that's dominated cupcakes. The public is going to be on this team, and the market's moving towards NC State. To me, this is the perfect situation. And I'm on NC State +7.5. Jose, I think the best way to do this then is after the breakdown, you can talk about what's going on, what people like in the chat, and then you can add anything you want, and then we'll move on. So why don't you talk about what's going on in the chat?
Well, Justin likes NC State +7.5. Robert Franklin on Notre Dame. And Ronnie and Berge are bringing up a good point that I was also interested in. Hartman saw these very NC State Wolfpack last year. I was just curious to see how he did last year. 28 of 49, 397 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 30-21 loss there. Both teams were ranked at that point, so tough loss for them as well. Christopher Commentini also dropping, saying that the NC State is just a different animal. Daryl Turner on the 7.5 here as well. And Saturated, of course, dropping a little Illinois +3 here as well. So, I agree with your looks there. I would lean a home dog there as well. But a lot of a lot of NC State love in the chat as well.
And we're not going to find that from the betting pub or from the rec gamblers. They're all going to be on Notre Dame. I find this is a great spot. And, when Kong's Clip's talking about how they were gashed by UConn's run game, I love that they got to face a tough run game. Something that Notre Dame has not faced yet. And we know that Raleigh is going to be electric. Absolutely bananas. So now let's see. So I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and see what they can do here against the real opposition. And we'll see where it goes. So that's game number 1. Let's move on to game number 2. We will switch here, Jose. I will just set a quick table. Then you can give the analysis, and then I'll read out the chat, and then we'll go back to it for the way we had it. So let's roll. Next up for us, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, Texas State Bobcats coming off a 26.5 point dog outright victory at Baylor versus Jose's UTSA Roadrunners at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, where Jose will be in a tux with possibly the ass cut out of his pants. There's still a discussion about all that. Billy Friedrich says Texas State and the points. Well, it's a pretty fascinating gambling situation here. And I expected after studying it that I would join everybody on the fate of Texas State. But I thought, you know what, let's just sit with it a little more and hear what I couldn't bet it. I just wanted to hear Jose one more time. I want to hear the people in the chat. So let's take a look at the line history here. This one popping off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. This line is growing. UTSA opened up at -11 on Sunday, and it immediately moved to 10. Immediately. And then the belief that Texas State can't possibly do this 2 games in a row, back-to-back road games started, flying around, and UTSA went to 10.5, and then 11.5, and then 12.5, and then 13, and now 13.5. There's not been one time. There's not been any buyback. No buyback at this point. Let's go to the total in this one here. And I'm very interested in Jose's take on the total as well. From a total side of things, it's been climbing and climbing. It's opened up at 62 and moved to 63, 64. Then on Tuesday morning, it jumped 2.5 points to 66.5. And it hasn't stopped because about an hour ago, it moved up to 67. It just keeps going up, keeps going up. So let's take a look at the cash flow then for this game that pops off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. On the total, you have 67% of the tickets, but just 48% of the cash on the over, which is tricky to figure out. You have 74% of the tickets and 71% of cash on UTSA. Oh, Dad fan, there's a show tomorrow, my man. So, and we're going to be talking college football with Dabby Cab. He's got games that are different than these ones that he wants to talk about, and I just wanted to give you the spots that I am attacking. Lucky Lefty in the house. Nice to see you, man. So, Texas State opened up with that very impressive win at Baylor. Finley threw for 298 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was 22 of 30. UTSA opens up after that heartbreaking 17-14 loss at Houston as 2.5-point favorites.
Ugh.
Frank Harris threw 3 picks. He was just 18 of 36 for 209 yards. UTSA has won 16 straight home games against non-ranked teams. They have failed to cover the spread in their last 4 games against non-conference opponents. But that doesn't really work. I mean, this is a Texas matchup, so I don't know if that was even needed. Take it away for us, Jose. Bobcats, Roadrunners, Alamo Dome, and you'll be there.
I will be there. Yeah. I don't know. I forgot that this was a 2:30 game. For some reason, I thought this was noon. But I'm going to be there for sure, obviously. And here's the thing. Most rivalry games, you probably don't want to lay 13.5 points. I mean, we're going to be honest. Any rivalry game, obviously, both sides will be equally motivated, especially the underdogs. But here's the thing. That was the best victory in Texas State football program history. We did the same thing against Baylor. And here's the funny part about it. Baylor fucking sucks. Baylor is horrific. And Texas State, congratulations. You can score points. You have a Power 5 quarterback transfer And I've heard Bobano and Connor say this. He was at Georgia, he was at Alabama, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? He fucking sucks. And he transferred to Texas State for a reason. Texas State is where all the fucking pawn scum of San Antonio, Austin, and San Marcos all go to just get together and just become just swill, just the swill of public, servants, the people that take out trash, shine boots. Those are the kind of people that go to Texas State. And you don't go to Texas State without leaving with some kind of communicable disease as well, of course. So here's the thing. We lose that game. Great. Perfectly fine against Houston because Frank Harris had probably one of the worst games of his career. He's been at UTSA for 7 fucking years. 7. And that was probably the worst game he's played in his career. Easily winnable game. Should have won that game, but you shoot yourself in the foot 3 times, and that's not going to cut it. This is going to be a shit kicking, a shit beating of these just lowly, just degenerate losers at Texas State. Because that's nothing that it's all the people that go there are just fucking swill. Not worth your time. If you see someone that has a Texas State degree, just pass that to the side. That's no good. That's no better than a GED here. Texas State wins this game. Will win this game going away by 30, 40, who knows. And the decent amount of traveling support that Texas State will have because San Marcos is a hop, skip, and a jump away from San Antonio. But again, it is for the place that people go to when they, can't go to the UTSA. Obviously can't get into UT Austin because that's way too big of a school for those kind of people. They have to deal with that. They just live in between because they're an in-between program full of shit and misery. So UTSA wins this game. Frank Harris atones for his sins from last week. He'll have a giant game, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. And UTSA wins this game going away. It won't even be close. I do expect plenty of points this season from the UTSA Roadrunners. And guess what? We might have a defense this year. We held a Houston team that is coached by Dana Holgerson, who is known for his offense, to 17 points. Was that them being horrible? Maybe. But Texas State's not better than Houston here. So UTSA wins, going away. I'll be in a tuxedo, dancing, just having a great time at the tailgate. And I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun when we just crap all over Texas State's parade. I hope they enjoyed last week because it's another shithousing. And by the way, Jimmy, just a reminder, these teams have played 4 times. UTSA has beaten them every single time. 4-0 against them. Their last meeting, I made over $1,000 on, actually. I fucking laid the wood in Las Vegas. Me and my buddies, we all put in for one big UTSA ticket, and we just cashed that. No problem. By no problem, I mean we had like a 30-point lead at halftime, and they came back and made it an overtime game. But we still won the game, and that's all that matters. So UTSA wins this game, and I can't fucking wait. Well, I wish I could say you're not muted, Jim, but here we are.
Sorry. A question that we need to ask you here for the next spot.
Sure.
And it's from TJ.
Sure.
I need to know what gave you confidence in UTSA's ability to score after watching week 1.
A history of being able to score for the last 3 years. Now, obviously, people are going to be like, you lost your best receiver to the transfer portal. What are you going to say now? I don't give a fuck. Receivers are rotisserie chickens. We just bring in another one. We have TJ Clark. He's going to be pitching. He's going to be in the I was going to say the lineup. I'm fucking all my baseball terms up right now. But he's going to be out there playing wide receiver. I'm not worried. That was literally Frank Harris's worst game he's played in like 3 fucking years. I'm not worried about that at all. Jeff Traylor is an excellent offensive coach. We've the whole thing about UTSA now, they're trying to get more fucking assistant money because we keep losing assistants to other places. But the beautiful thing is when you have an offensive coach as your head coach, you can't lose that. You lose offensive coordinators left and right, but Jeff Traylor's still the guy drawing up the offense and doing that. So shout out to my guys. UTSA wins this game again handily, and we score 40 points.
So are you interested in team total over as well?
That's an excellent question, Jim, because I have not placed my bet in this game yet, and I obviously can't pussy out and take money line, obviously. And the 13.5 is pretty fucking steep. So what is that team total at?
Let's pull it up right now. Here, the team total will give you Pinnacles because I imagine it is very nice. Let's grab it here. The team total, this one pops off at 330. Oh, sorry, I passed it. Here we go. The team total is 36.5. Wow. It's juiced to minus 181, and they're not giving you another one. Wow. That's a sign right there. That is a sign. Pinnacle does not want you to bet the team total. Wow. They do not want you to bet that team total, and they're not going to move it up. That's wild. So the total keeps going up in the game, but they're just going to leave it there and just add juice. Let's see here what we can get at Bet 365, which I imagine will be much worse. And that is the team total here is 40.5. Slightly juiced to the over, minus 120.
Wow, minus 120?
Yeah.
That's crazy because Bovada has 40.5 over minus 105. So I'll take it. I'll put my money where my mouth is. That I think I guess I am being very specific. They're going to score over 40 points in this game here, and we're going to beat the shit out of Texas State. And if you see a man in a tuxedo and he's in a physical altercation with any Texas State fans at the tailgate in the parking lot of the Alamo Dome, you didn't see it. It wasn't me. You didn't see it. Don't worry about it. However, my pussy will be polluted by 2:30. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be bulbous, and I'm going to show up to my friend's wedding just disgusting, just pussy on the floor, essentially.
I would stay close to your biggest and toughest friends. That's what I would do first off. And
I am a shit talker. I run this mouth.
And secondly, guys, it isn't a dome. A lot of people thinking you're going to be in a tux in 100-degree weather for those.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think I'm going to the actual game because the reception or whatever is at like 6:30. The game starts at 2:30 our time. So I'm cutting it close. If I'm going into a half, I'm going to be at the tailgate, sweating my dick off in 100-degree weather. So that'll be fun. Helga is nonplussed that I'm doing this, by the way. She is not pleased at all, and she's going to have to pick my disgusting pussy off the ground and drag me to this wedding as well.
She knew what she got herself into, and please use that line as much as possible until you can never use it again.
Yes,
I can no longer use it here.
Your disgusting pussy lips?
The Sky Dragon, the Cappers contest show is in 51 minutes. 51 minutes. Okay, let's move on here. Let's move on to best bets for me for the rest of the card. We go to 6 p.m. Eastern. The Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns 1-0. First game of the Sun Belt season for them at Old Dominion Monarchs, or 0-1. Also their first game in the Sun Belt. We are in Norfolk, Virginia for this. 82 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour. We'll start with the total here in this one. We have another total that has been climbing. This opened up at 49, and most books opened up at 48.5 at Pinnacle, and is all the way up to 51.5. So we have a 3-point move to the over, and from a point spread situation here, we are. I'll move over here. We have a move towards down to 5.5. That's good. That's very good. That's good. Moved to it moved to 5.5 a while ago. I didn't realize that. This opened up at 7.5 and moved to 5.5. I bet it at Bet365. Oh, I only got a 6. Sorry, I was confused with my next bet. Okay, I only got a 6. It's at 5.5 at Pinnacle now. So a 2-point move to Old Dominion. 2-point move to Old Dominion. And who in the world wants Old Dominion? The market is moving towards them. This is an Old Dominion squad that has not covered 5 straight games at home. They've lost 7 straight games. They're going up against the Raging Cajuns, and the market is moving towards them. Let's go to the cash flow here. Where is it? Here we go. Move to the cash flow for this game starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. Now, look, I like Ricky Ronnie a lot. And 2 years ago, Old Dominion was spectacular to me. There are only 891 tickets in. 32% of the tickets are on Old Dominion. The public is not going to be on Old Dominion. But 95% of the cash is at this point with such a small amount of tickets. From a total side of things, 29% of tickets, 27% cash on the under. It's 71-73 on the over, and it's gone up 3 points. Louisiana opened with an easy win over Northwestern State, 38-13. They were 35-point favorites. 35-point favorites at home against a minnow. Ben Woolridge hadn't played in 10 months. He threw 3 touchdown passes, 14 of 32. He was 14 of 32. Now, yeah, sure, you could say he's rusty. 14 of 32 against the Northwestern State Demons.
I think I could complete more passes.
223 yards. That's what he passed for. Against a horrific football team that he's 35-point favorites. They finished with 429 yards of offense. Look, they held Northwestern State to 187 yards. Louisiana has lost 3 of their last 4 games as a road favorite. So they open up against a cupcake. Old Dominion goes into Virginia Tech. They were 16-point dogs. Look, they didn't cover the game. They lose 36-17. But their defense held up. It was 2-0 after the first quarter. It was 16-10 at the half. And what happened is you're on the road against the Virginia Tech team, and they just got beaten down. That's going to happen. Also, Allie Jennings, Old Dominion transfer, Rebenga, caught 2 touchdown passes. Look, that shit is going to happen against schools that are much better than you and tougher than you. That's just going to happen. They rushed for 200 yards on the ground against Virginia Tech's defense. This is a wonderful situation. I'm on Old Dominion +6 at home. It is sharp money that's moving this. And you're going to keep here. Now, the next game's a little more, but this is very similar to the first game that I broke down. And look, I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Do you want to touch on what the chat is saying, my man, before we get into our final game?
Sure. TJ dropped a little ODU +6 at evens, and that's pretty crazy. He got that at +6 even money, too. But there's not much discussion on this game. You'll be shocked to hear that, Jim. Not many people are interested in Louisiana ODU here. But Nathan Cerna saying leaning under in the first half, 25.5 there. And DT says, don't care. Give me the Cajuns. Says, exactly. Fuck you, Jimmy. Give me the Raging Cajuns.
That's everybody's going to say that. Everybody's going to say that about Notre Dame. Everybody's going to say that about Louisiana. Perfect. And I love my guy DT, but that's perfect. I love that. And there's many, many more who are going to say the exact same thing. Let's move on to my final spot at this point. Now, we've got a lot of college capping to do tomorrow. Final spot, is going to be an absolute beauty. This is the most excited. There's so many questions I want answered in this football game, and I can't wait to watch it. 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Auburn Tigers and Cal Golden Bears, each 1-0 to start the season. Each put up enormous amounts of points to start the season. 67 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 11 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this. This is going to be such a late night fun game Saturday night, man. We are so lucky we get these late night games. Now, maybe some of you guys want to watch Stanford USC. I want to watch Freeze take his group on a very tough road trip. Let's go over to Pinnacle here. This opened up at +7 on Monday. That 7 was around for 45 minutes. Then it came back. So it came back on Tuesday. It came back on Tuesday. It was when it got back to 7, it lasted there for 13 minutes before it was a 6.5. But it's important to note that it did go back to 7. It's been at 6.5 since that 6.5 is juiced, and it wasn't. It wasn't juiced until an hour ago. There was a 9-cent move an hour and 9 minutes ago on Cal at +6.5. Let's get into the total here for this one. Take me a second. Let me just move over here. This is our final game on today's show, and then we will have our Cappers Contest show at 2 p.m. It'll lead into the Walking Dead. From a total side of things, this total is dropping. There's going to be a lot of running, and they both just put up an alarming amount of points. This opened up at 57. It got all the way down to 53.5 yesterday. There's been a point of buyback to 54.5. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one. On the total, 68% of the tickets and 87% of cash are on the over. And this has dropped 3 points in 3 days. That's extremely interesting. On the spread, over here, sorry, take me a second. On the spread, we have 65% of the tickets on Auburn and 69% of the cash on Auburn. 65 and 69 on Auburn. I am not on Auburn. There's going to be a lot of people on Auburn. Freeze is very, very nervous about these next couple days. They're going to be, they don't play until 10:30 p.m. at night Eastern. So Freeze says he's going to keep them up late tonight. When you hear him talking about what his plan is for these kids, you realize they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Auburn opened up the season with a 59-14 win at home over UMass as 35-point favorites. Look, Peyton Thorne looked good. And Robbie Ashford, Red Zone Robbie, ran for 3 touchdowns, and that's going to push Thorne. This Cal defense, you can't beat them on the ground. You're going to have to beat them through the air, which they're capable possibly of doing, but they'll have to do it. So they beat UMass at home as 35-point favorites, and now they have to go on a really tough road trip. Cal opens up their season with an easy win at North Texas. They were 5-point favorites, and they beat them 58-21. This Justin Wilcox defense completely shut them down. 1.52 yards per carry. Now, look, North Texas's defense is not good, but Cal ran for 357 yards and 6 touchdowns. 357 and 6 touchdowns. Former NC State quarterback. I mean, the quarterback throws for 322 yards. Jaden Ott ran for 178 yards. This was very, very, very impressive, and they're going to keep it going. I truly, truly believe that they are going to keep this going. Ben Finley looked excellent. Jaden Ott looked excellent, and this is too difficult for Freeze in his first year at Auburn to bring all these kids over to Cal and play at 10:30 at night after playing a minnow. I'm on Cal plus 6.5. And that, my friend, is my 3 best bets. You want to touch on what D Chad is saying, my man?
Sure, I believe in you, Jim. Wine 10 said, fine. Tie my hands behind my back. Okay, I just bet Cal plus 6.5. Sprinkle some money line. He's on the under 55 there as well. By the way, Leonard Porsche dropped in a comment from the earlier game. Cajuns coach was very pissed about that last game and said the wins mean nothing because the mistakes were all he could think about. I think they could clean it up for what that's worth. DT liking Cal. Nunya 6.5 for War Eagle, 6 for War Eagle easily. Wine Time likes Cal. Mentioned DT likes Cal. And our guy, Dennis Garcia, a.k.a. Sky Dargan in there, likes Cal plus 7, and he will be on the over at some point there. Shout out to you. By the way, we have a new guy in the chat. Shout out to our new guy, Matt Complex. Nice to see you. New name in the chat. Stick around. It's a great time. And by the way, yes, Billy Friedrich gave you that membership. Kelly McGinnis. So shout out to Billy Friedrich as well. And more news on the Cubs, man. The pimp sheet. The collab, Pimp Slap and Ronnie Crawford, both on the Chicago Cubs there. So the pimp sheet is the Cubs 4-1 when they're collabed together. Son of a bitch! I want to take the Cubs, but here we are.
When we have these breakdowns, one of the fun things about college football is you're looking at so many games and you pick your spots. And I really like these spots. And, obviously we don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to bet them. It makes me nervous, when you say, like, when TJ loves the conviction. It makes me nervous to have the conviction. Obviously I don't know what's going to happen. But I think these are 3 fucking beautiful spots. 3 beautiful spots. And I expect to get paid. We have our Cappers contest show in 37 minutes. Matt Complex, welcome, my man. 37 minutes. Let's break down all action here. Pimp sheet, Chicago Cubs tonight. Pimp sheet, Chicago Cubs. Jose's on the Marlins, first 5 in full game. I'm very interested in that, and I have 37 minutes to get my action in. Vipers on the Dodgers, -1. He's on Amon-Ra St. Brown, over 74.5 receiving yards. Brian Smith's on the Marlins team total over, and the Braves team total over 3.5 and 6.5, respectively. Razor Sharp Picks gave us his entire Delaware card. Thank you, Razor. You are a good man. Not only that, but Razor Sharp Picks gave us his Gambler's First Glance. And it is the Miami Marlins. Shout out to our guy, Razor Sharp Picks. Nupflashan says, and then this is the Delaware card. Nupflashan says, is the Cappers contest show only for people who are in the contest? He says, no, it's not. But it's for all members, and we're okay with that. We're okay with that. Anybody who's a member is more than welcome. DT dropping an MLB parlay today. Cubs, Dodgers, Tigers, Mariners. I'll pay out huge. Pop that in here, and let's saturate its action as well. Oh no, winningest team since the All-Star break. No hemming and hawing. Okay, so Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Dodgers, and BJ's best bet is the Cubbies. TJ's gift is Seattle first 5 money line. Jose's on it, and I want to be. I want the Yankees first 5, but I'm really hesitant to pay them -0.5, and I'm not going to take that big money line. So maybe I just take the first 5 under with Jose. TJ's also on Detroit first 5 at +146. You want to go up against TJ? Jose's on the Cardinals +1.5 at +150. The first 5 under 4.5 in Arizona, Chicago. I kind of want. I know there's a lot of money on the under and the line's not moving. I'm going to look at it a little more. And I want the Guardians. But I can understand the trepidation that TJ wants us to have minus 110 right now. I don't think I bet that in 27 minutes. I think I take a little bit more time. There you go. Justin McElvey stacks future bet Patriots over 7.5 wins. Reclaim James ass eater play today. Orcs Buffaloes. Tone Miggins levels play today. Chiefs team total over and Sky Moore anytime touchdown. Billy Friedrich gave us his NFL win total bets. Falcons under 8.5 at plus 122. Ravens over 9.5 minus 198. Carolina under 7.5 minus 181. Browns over 9 at minus 137. Eagles under 11 at plus 114. Niners over 11.5 plus 122. Tennessee over 7.5 minus 135. Jets under 9.5 minus 118. The big booty Latina play of the day is the over 53.5 in KC Detroit. Ron Crawford and Razor are also on that over. Dennis Garcia and others are on the under. I kind of just want to do nothing. Wine Time Sports is on the under. Billy Friedrich has the same game parlay with the Chiefs and the under 54 plus 168. Then I gave my best bets out in college football. NC State plus 7.5. Old Dominion plus 6. Cal plus 6.5. And we heard Jose's confidence in the UTSA Roadrunners. There we go. That is our show. We have our Cappers Contest show in 33 minutes where you guys vote on our Circa Millions card. It's going to be very, very fun. Jose, I enjoy these Thursdays capping with you immensely. And I'm looking forward to our Cappers Contest show. Shout out to everybody supporting this show. TJ, Equinimus, DT, The Sweaty Butcher. He's on the over tonight. Lucas Ryan, Matt Complex, Darren Turner, Nate Cerna, Nunya, Justin McAvee. We've missed the Nunya business play today.
Shout out Nunya.
Kong's Clips, Andre, Dom Play, Saturated, Rob Garvey, Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, Ronnie and Bergia. Makes me scared when he says 2 great looks, Jimmy, because I'm like, which one's the shit one? Which one's the loser? Kelly McInnes. Thank you, Billy Friedrich, for gifting 5 members that can be a part of our Cappers Contest show. That means a ton. TJ, Mikey M, Nutflush Allen, Wine Time, Londo. Thank you all. I wish I could give you all an individual thank you. Abdi, thank you. Ronnie and Bergia, Leonard Porsche Jr. I love it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Now let's go get this fucking money. Let's get this fucking cash. Jose, do you want to bless our action and leche us into the future?
Sure. We'll be back here in about 32 minutes. So everyone, like TJ says, go take a poop break. Members, come join us. Like we said, it's going to be fun. We need the sharps in the fucking chat, though. I'm looking at everyone right now, and if we have the fucking Lions on our card again every week like last year, we're going to have fucking problems. We're not going to see Jimmy if we have a horrible start to this season on the Cappers Contest show.
That's true. I will abandon the show.
Exactly. So it'll be just me. And who wants to just see me slap dicking around these
A lot of people.
I disagree. I will mention this, my last 2 cents before getting out of here. I forgot to mention this when we were breaking down the game. Mookie Betts props, Freddie Freeman props. They're facing a lefty. Both of them are top 5, top 3 against lefties in the season. Bet those. Mookie Betts, last time, I believe it was the last game they faced him, Braxton Garrett gave up 2 home runs. I believe both of those were to Mookie Betts. So definitely something I wanted to talk about. I didn't make anything official, obviously, on that end, but I would take some Mookie Betts props, perhaps. But thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you guys in 30 short minutes. Let's go, Smokemakers!